Chapter 1202. Qin Shu pretended not to hear her. Huamin walked over and got closer. Then, she stood beside him and called out weakly, "Honey, what?" Qin Shu looked up and purposely put on a straight face. "Fuck." Qin Shu was speechless. His wife stole the line he always used to say, "Honey, what do you think of this dress?" "It's nothing. I hate lace." Qin Shu purposely put on a long face. Then, she turned around and ran away. Qin Shu was puzzled. He had just dealt a blow to Huamian, and now she was running away? Her heart was too fragile. Was he being too harsh with his words? Should he coax her? At this thought, Qin Shu suddenly realized that she was the one in the wrong, not him. He had to be firm. Yes, he had to be firm. He couldn't surrender so quickly. He couldn't do it either. Seduction didn't work either. Then, Qin Shu picked up his teacup, took a sip, and went back to work. 5 minutes later, Huamin appeared at the door again. "Honey, honey." Her voice was even more coquettish than last time. Qin Shu unintentionally turned his head and almost fell off his chair, because at this moment, Huamin's nightgown was gone. She had changed into an extremely sexy, blue-striped maid outfit. Trying to seduce him with a uniform? No, he couldn't admit defeat. He couldn't let her go so easily. Qin Shu coughed lightly and pretended not to see anything. He turned around and continued working. "Honey, does this look good?" Huamin really should thank Zhu Lingling. In order to spice up their relationship, she bought him so many weird things. Although she didn't wear it even once because she was shy, it came in handy when she made a mistake. "It doesn't look good. It's so ugly," Qin Shu said against his will. Huamin looked down at herself. When she looked in the mirror just now, she clearly felt fine. Did Qin Shu not like it? Then, she turned around and ran away again. This time, Qin Shu wasn't in the mood to work. His Mian was playing a game of cross-dressing. She even tried to seduce him with a uniform. He wasn't in the mood to continue working. His heart began to beat faster. 5 minutes later, when Huamin came back again, she had changed into a bunny girl outfit. It was white and had 2 rabbit ears. It was very cute. Qin Shu almost couldn't hold back his laughter. In the end, it was his strong willpower that controlled him. Then, he deliberately asked with a dark face, "So our house has become a big forest?" Huamian looked at her bra, low-cut blouse, and bunny ears. She was not used to it either. Then, looking at Mr. Qin's murderous eyes, she was sure that she had failed again. Huamian stomped her foot in anger, turned around, and ran away again. In the bedroom, she thought about it and decided that she couldn't keep changing her clothes like this. It was a waste of time, and she looked like a clown in front of Mr. Qin. After thinking for a moment, Huamin decided to use her ultimate move. When Huamin appeared in front of Qin Shu again, Qin Shu's eyes widened. Huamin was wearing a bikini, which was rare. She was so traditional that she wouldn't wear such a sexy swimsuit when she went on vacation to the Maldives. But today she was wearing a bikini, and it was aqua blue. It was a beautiful bikini. It completely exposed Huamin's golden ratio figure. She had a flat stomach, a slim waist, a curvy butt, and a not too big but not too small cup size. Most importantly, she wet her hair, and water droplets kept dripping down. It was an extremely seductive scene. Qin Shu swallowed his saliva. He couldn't help but whisper, "Honey." Chapter 1203. Seeing Qin Shu's expression, Huamin knew that her trump card had worked. Oh yeah, she wanted to cheer in her heart. Huamin gestured with her finger. "Honey, it's getting late. Shouldn't we go to bed?" "You're right, Mrs. Qin." The two of them began to play the game of time travel, and they began to talk about ancient people. Then, Qin Shu stood up. He picked up Huamin horizontally and walked straight into the spacious bedroom on the 2nd floor. Huamin was elated. If she knew that this method would work, she would have used it a long time ago. She didn't have to be so scared. She almost peed her pants. Mr. Qin was really scary when he was angry. Huamin made up her mind that Mr. Qin would fall for her beauty trap and not pursue what happened tonight. But she forgot one thing. Who was Mr. Qin? He was famous for being two-faced. Would he let Huamin off the hook so easily? No. If he let her off the hook so easily, then he wouldn't be Qin Shu. In the bedroom, After Qin Shu placed Huamin on the bed, he didn't rush to get on top of her. Instead, he began to unbuckle his belt. Huamian opened her eyes shyly when she heard the clanking sound of metal. She thought to herself, "My husband knows how to unbuckle his belt, and I don't even have to do it myself." Just as she thought about it, she saw Qin Shu tie Huamin's hands up at his belt. Honey, are you that hardcore?" Huamin was a little dizzy, no way. S&M? This was too explosive. How come she didn't know that her husband was such a wild man before? Sure enough, although humans had evolved into the highest level of animals, their bodies were still stimulated by male hormones, and they still had the most primitive wildness in their hearts. Huamin thought that if her husband wasn't angry, then it wouldn't be a big deal to play hardcore once in a while. After all, he was her husband, not an outsider. Plus, Mr. Qin was so nice to her that he wouldn't hurt her. Thinking of this, Huamin said weakly, "Honey, just tie me up. Forget about the whip and wax." I can't take it." Qin Shu narrowed his eyes and looked down at Huamin. Then he smiled evilly. "Can't take it? You're pretending to be a little sheep now? When you're racing, why don't you think about whether you can handle it?" "Hubby, I was wrong. You can kill me or torture me as you wish. I just ask for your forgiveness." Huamin continued to act pitiful in an attempt to gain Mr. Qin's pity. "I don't want to kill you, nor do I want to skin you. I just want to..." After saying that, Qin Shu bent down and tore with his big hand. The force wasn't very strong, but the bikini was instantly turned into strips of cloth. All of a sudden, the spring scenery became ineffective. Under the bright lights was Huamin's perfect and fair body. She had the shyness and inexperience of a young girl. She was a genius in other aspects, but she was a slow idiot when it came to sex. Because of her shyness and embarrassment, she always pretended to be an ostrich. She would bury her head under the covers and only show her head when he was done. Zhu Lingling had scolded her several times and told her that she was useless. Zhu Lingling even taught her some tricks. However, she was too embarrassed to use them on Qin Shu. Today's occasion, under this kind of atmosphere, was truly unprecedented. "Hubby, please forgive me." Huamin looked at Qin Shu with puppy eyes. She had a pitiful look on her face. "Sure, after tonight, I'll forgive you." After saying this, Mr. Qin bent down and started kissing her all over her body. The sound of rapid breathing could be heard in the room. In an instant, the atmosphere became extremely ambiguous. Chapter 1204. Huamin originally thought that they were just going to have sex like every other time. At most, Mr. Qin wouldn't have enough and would do it a few more times. But this time, she guessed wrongly. Under Mr. Qin's skillful teasing, Huamian's face was as red as a boiled crab. Her desire was at its peak, and she thought that they could make love to each other. But she was wrong again. Mr. Qin actually got up and left. What was going on? "Honey, what is it, honey?" Qin Shu sat on the chaise lounge, lit up a cigarette, and asked slowly. Huamin found it hard to speak. "You want it?" Qin Shu asked. Huamin nodded shyly, but Mr. Qin said the cruelest word of her life. "No." Damn it. He teased her until she couldn't take it anymore, and then he got up to smoke and shamelessly said that he wouldn't give it to her. "Honey, don't be like this." Huamin's heart itched. She was a normal person, okay? Who could stand being teased like this by the person they loved? Think about it. Calm down. Huamin, her hands were tied by Mr. Qin's belt, so she couldn't move at all. Huamin lay on the bed, closed her eyes, and forced herself to calm down. Don't think about anything and calm down. I don't want it. I just don't want it. After 5 minutes, Huamin felt a lot better. She opened her eyes and was dumbfounded again. Mr. Qin threw away the cigarette in his hand and pressed himself on her again. This time, he kissed her like a storm. The consciousness that she had just gathered with great difficulty was once again crushed mercilessly. Then, just when she couldn't take it anymore, Mr. Qin got up and straightened his collar. "Qin Shu, you bastard. Are you messing with me?" Huamin finally understood what was going on. Mr. Qin wasn't asking for the truth. He was just toying with her. Qin Shu's gaze was clearly saying, "Yes, I'm playing with you. So what? Bite me?" "Honey, calm down. We'll continue in 5 minutes." Huamin felt as if countless alpacas were running through his heart. Qin Shu, what kind of hero are you to play like this? I'm sorry, I'm not a hero. In this family, I only want one identity, your husband. If you want to kill me, then do it quickly. Killing me is just a matter of time. What's the point of playing like this? Interesting, very interesting. Seeing Qin Shu's infuriating look, Huamin was also furious. Seeing that force didn't work, she changed her strategy. Honey, don't be like this, okay? Let's talk things out. I can't talk, but I'll do my best. I promise that tonight will be very enjoyable. Qin Shu smiled meaningfully. Huamin was speechless. She couldn't hold it in anymore. Although her hands were tied, her legs were still flexible. She slowly got up and was about to get off the bed. However, before she could reach the bed, Qin Shu's big hand grabbed her white ankle. Honey, the game isn't over. You can't go anywhere. Then Qin Shu took off his white shirt and pressed Huamin down again. Then it was another round of extreme lovemaking. But no matter what, he wouldn't give it to her. It was foreplay all the way, and Huamin felt like her entire body was on fire. Like a raging fire. Qin Shu's method was so fucking cruel. Qin Shu, we're a married couple. How can you treat me like this? She deliberately provoked him. We're a married couple. Why didn't you think of me when you were racing? Honey, I was wrong. Huamin cried and begged for mercy again. It's too late to admit your mistake. Then, Qin Shu began another round of gentle torture. The truth was, during this process, Qin Shu was even more uncomfortable than Huamin. He loved her so much that his body was reacting to it. Huamin felt something hard pressing against her legs. That feeling was indescribably satisfying. She took a deep breath and angrily asked, Stupid Qin Shu, do you dare to come in here? Chapter 1205. I wouldn't dare, Mr. Qin replied shamelessly. Huamian wanted to bang her head against the wall. How could he torture her like this? He might as well just beat her up. She was going crazy. In the end, Huamin couldn't persuade him with force or persuasion, so she had to give up resisting. Then she silently cried. As expected, Qin Shu's heart softened when he saw Huamin like this. Honey, he called out with heartache. Don't talk to me. Huamin turned her head away angrily. Strange, she was the one who did something wrong. So why did it seem like he was the one at fault in the end? Honey, don't be mad. I'll give it to you. Get out, don't touch me. Huamin was furious. She kicked Qin Shu away. She became anxious as she messed around. This was the perfect example of this couple. Mr. Qin felt wronged. Who was the one who did something wrong? I did something wrong, but I also admitted my mistake. No one would do something like you did. You did it to me all night. Well, then Huamin couldn't help but cry. Qin Shu wasn't afraid of anything, but he was afraid of Huamin crying no matter how big of a mistake Huamin made. As long as she cried, his heart would immediately soften. Honey, don't cry. I won't pursue this matter, okay? Wah. Honey, not only will I not pursue this matter, I will also apologize to you. I shouldn't have tortured you like this, okay? Wah. Honey, what do you want? As long as you don't cry, I'll listen to everything you say. Really? Huamin immediately stopped crying and glanced at Mr. Qin suspiciously. Really? Qin Shu made up his mind to not pursue this matter. As long as his wife didn't cry, everything would be okay. Then, untie me first. Huamin pouted and cupped her hands without another word. Qin Shu untied her. Is this okay, honey? No, use this to tie yourself up. Qin Shu, wah, don't cry, honey. I'll do it myself. Qin Shu didn't know what to do. As long as Huamin didn't cry, he would do anything. Qin Shu tied himself up, still unsatisfied. Huamian took out Qin Shu's other belt from the cabinet. She tied his legs as well. Honey, what are you trying to do? Qin Shu felt uneasy. Qin Shu, Hua Qin Shu, and Hua Qin Shu, you do what you do to me. Qin Shu to cess. Do, and Huamin bent down and began kissing Mr. Qin like a storm. Qin Shu sucked in a breath of cold air. How could he resist such blatant seduction? On. Qin Shu's voice was a little hoarse and deep, but it had an indescribable charm to it. Yeah, don't do that. You're playing with fire. Playing with fire is good. I like playing with fire. Huamin looked like a scoundrel who got what he wanted after using her tears to get Mr. Qin to take pity on her. She immediately turned hostile and began doing the same thing to Mr. Qin. Haha, it was perfect. Are you sure? Qin Shu didn't know whether to laugh or cry. I'm very sure. Shu, don't say anything. Just enjoy the taste that I just enjoyed. Huamin tried her best to imitate Mr. Qin's seductive technique. However, a tearing sound was heard. The belt came open. Mr. Qin mercilessly broke open such a sturdy belt. Was it because she didn't tie it tight enough? Before Huamin could react, Mr. Qin suddenly pushed her onto the bed and devoured her. Qin Shu, you bastard, you cheated. Huamin looked like she was wronged. Qin Shu smiled, but didn't say anything. Then, he started kissing her. Chapter 1206. The next morning, when Huamin woke up, it was already 9 a.m. Oh no, I'm late. She immediately got up and realized that her back was sore. Damn it, Qin Shu. Last night was too much for her, okay? Even if it was their wedding night, he didn't need to go that far. He wanted to eat her up. Just then, she noticed the note next to her pillow. It was obviously Mr. Qin's handwriting. Honey, I helped you take the morning off. Sleep well. Also, last night, thank you for your hard work. Huamin didn't know whether to laugh or cry after reading the note. Last night was indeed hard on her. Her back was about to break, and her legs were sore as hell. That terrifying amount of energy was almost equivalent to climbing a mountain. Huamin stretched and then weakly got up from the bed. She changed her clothes and went downstairs. Uncle Li immediately ordered someone to prepare breakfast. Just then, her phone began to ring. It was an unknown number. Hello? Hello, is this Miss Huamin? Speaking. I'm Miss Song's accountant. Miss Song asked me to transfer the money to you. Which bank account do you think is more convenient? Huamin suddenly remembered the bet she made with Song Yishuan. If she won, she would pay for a car in full. A bank account will do. I just sent it to you. Okay, I'll transfer it to you right away. How are Song Yishuan and the others? Huamin asked tentatively. Miss Song is already out of the hospital, but her sister's injuries are quite serious. She needs plastic surgery and is still in the hospital. Okay, I got it. After hanging up, Huamin sent her bank account number to the bank. 10 minutes later, she received a notification from the bank. More than 1,000,000 yuan had been transferred to her account. Although Song Yishuan was annoying, she still kept her promise. Then, the accountant sent her another message. Miss Song said that the money has been transferred. Miss Hua, she hopes that you could delete the video on your phone. I know. Huami knew that Song Yishuan thought that the video was a disaster, so there was no point in keeping it, so he just deleted it. She could only hope that Song Yishuan would keep her word and avoid her the next time she saw her. Anyway, he didn't want to see the Song sisters. Otherwise, he would be in a bad mood. After breakfast, Huamin looked at the time. It was still early, so he went to Sky Blessing Court to see his mother. Sky Blessing Court. Huamin, why are you here at this hour? Aren't you at work? Yang Meirong was surprised to see Huamin. Ah, I took the morning off. Huamin looked around and asked, where's Xiaoping? Ah, she went out. She said she went out to eat with her friends. Friends? She's only been in the city for a few days, and she already has friends? Huamin was a little surprised. Communication is so advanced these days. There's QQ and WeChat. I don't know how they met. She doesn't want to listen even if I tell her too much. Yang Meiyurong sighed. That won't do. Who's going to take responsibility if she gets scammed by an online friend? Mom, why don't you tell her to go home? She'll be worried. Huamin didn't like Yang Xiaoping, so he didn't want her to stay. Okay, I'll talk to her when she comes back. Yang Meiyurong nodded. All right, Mian. Have you eaten yet? I'll get you something to eat. It's okay. I already ate. I just came to see you. Then, Huamin took out 50,000 yuan in cash from his bag and placed it on the table. Mom, take this. Don't be stingy. I can make money now, so you have to treat yourself better. You've given me money again. I don't need it. I still haven't spent all the money you gave me last time. Take it. You can buy whatever you want. After giving his mother the money, Huamin ate some fruit. Seeing that it was about time, he called a cab and went to the hospital. His car was sent for repair, so he probably wouldn't be able to get it back anytime soon. As soon as Huamin arrived at the hospital, Jiang Xiaowei called. Mian, are you at work? Yeah. I just got to the hospital. What's up? Did Su look for you? No. Why would he look for me? Huamin was a little confused. Jiang Xiaowei wanted to say something, but stopped. Chapter 12:07. What's wrong with him? Huamin asked anxiously. She thought something happened to Suyu. He's going on a long trip. His flight is at 1:20. I thought he'd visit you before he left. A long trip? Where's he going? Huamin was a bit surprised. Suyu rarely went on long trips. Even when he went overseas for vacation, he would be back in a week at most. He's going south with his grandfather for an inspection. He's going with the army. I think he'll be gone for at least a month. What about the company? Imperial Star is fine. He can give orders over the phone. Plus, the vice president of Imperial Star is from his family, so it's fine. Oh, I see. So he didn't go to you? No. Huamin nodded. He didn't call you either? Jiang Xiaowei asked in disbelief. No. Maybe he thought it through. Who knows? Anyway, I heard from Wei Liao. It's a sudden decision. It is. After hanging up the phone, Huamin didn't think too much about it. Suyu's trip had nothing to do with her. Then, she picked up the patient information her assistant gave her and began to read it. The truth was, Suyu did come to Southside in the morning, but he didn't see Huamin. He asked her assistant and found out that she took the morning off. Suyu left in disappointment. There was only an hour left until 1:20. Inside the VIP lounge at the airport. What's wrong with you? You're going to South Sea for a month? Are you crazy? Tang Chuan was very displeased. If Suyu left, who would hang out with him? My grandfather is old, and sometimes even his assistant can't figure him out. I'll go with him and take care of him. I think you want to hide from Huamin. Why would I hide from her? Suyu smiled helplessly. You want to see if you could try to forget her and let her go after being away for a month. You speak as if you know me very well. Suyu smiled. Do you dare to say no? Tang Chuan questioned. If you say so, then so be it. But if I can really go out for a month and let go of her, that would be a relief. Suyu is actually in a bit of pain right now. The deeper he fell, the less free and easy he felt, especially when he found out that Huamin had risked his life to race. If Huamin was his woman, he would definitely carry her upstairs and give her a good spanking. I'll teach her a good lesson and see if she dares to be so lawless in the future. But he couldn't because he didn't have the right to control Huamin. The only person who could control Huamin was Qin Shu. It would always be Qin Shu. So every time he thought about this, Suyu felt extremely pained last night in the yurt. After Huamin left, he was in a bad mood and drank a lot of white wine. Then he completely got drunk. After drinking, he vomited, and after vomiting, he drank again. Even Jiang Xiaowei was speechless. She never thought that Suyu would love Huamin so much. He loved her so much that he couldn't even talk about it. When Suyu returned to the mansion drunk, he didn't even remember what his mother and grandfather said. Anyway, when he woke up this morning, his grandfather announced that he had to take him with him to the south. Maybe his grandfather didn't want to see him in so much pain and wanted to take him into the army so that he could experience life in the south. To be honest, Suyu didn't want to leave because his heart ached when he thought about not being able to see Huamin for a month. Then you don't want to see her before you leave? Tang Chuan asked. Forget it. Suyu lowered his head with a heavy heart. At this moment, Tang Chuan picked up his phone and called Huamin. Huamin? I'm Tang Chuan. Can you come to the airport to send Lord Su off? I'm begging you. Tang Chuan rarely spoke so seriously, let alone when he was begging someone. Huamin was dumbfounded when he heard this. You little brat. What are you doing? Hang up. Suyu didn't want to make things difficult for Huamin, so he grabbed Tang Chuan's phone. There's still an hour before departure. I really want to know, will she come? Tang Chuan looked at Suyu sympathetically. Lord Su did so much for that woman, and now she wasn't even willing to send him off. Chapter 12:08. Southside Recuperation Center. Huamin sat in her office in a daze as she held her phone in her hand. She knew that Suyu was leaving Sea City for a while. Because Jiang Xiaowei had told her about it a long time ago, she thought that Suyu would send her a Weibo message or something, but he didn't. What was even more surprising was that Tang Chuan, a passerby, couldn't stand it anymore. He actually took the initiative to call her and asked her to send Suyu off, but was it really meaningful for her to go? Of course not. First of all, if Huamin went to send Suyu off, even if Mr. Qin wasn't jealous, he would still feel uncomfortable. Plus, it wasn't like Suyu wasn't coming back. He was only leaving for a month. Second of all, she didn't like Suyu at all. If she went to send Suyu off, it would definitely leave him with a glimmer of hope. Rather than continue to make him suffer, she might as well not go and cut off his hopes. Third of all, even if she and Suyu were friends, they were very distant friends. There was no need to make it so grand and even go to the airport to send him off. So, after some consideration, Huamin decided to be a heartless woman for once. She knew that Wei Liao, Tang Chuan, and even Xiao Wei might think that she was too heartless. Suyu did so much for her, but she didn't even send him off. But it wasn't as simple as a farewell. She knew that she owed Suyu, so she couldn't take everything that Suyu did for her for granted. But in this life, she met Qin Shu first, so she couldn't give anyone else her feelings. Her heart was too small. It was so small that it could only fit Mr. Qin alone. She wasn't greedy. God had already given her the best man, so she had to cherish him. She would rather betray him than betray him. In this life, she would rather betray the world than betray Qin Shu's love. Mr. Qin didn't like to talk. Most of the time, he used his actions to prove himself. That man, from his youth to his middle age, had been deeply in love with her all these years. That love was deep and unforgettable. Back when Qin Shu underwent heart surgery, Huamin had experienced those demonic days. She finally saw her own heart clearly. She was willing to sacrifice her life for him. So, no matter what kind of infamy she had to bear, no matter what kind of accusation she had to bear, it was fine to say that she was ungrateful. You could say that she was burning the bridge after crossing the river, or even that she was not worth befriending. There was no way she was going to give it to Suyu. He definitely couldn't go to the airport, but she really hoped that Suyu could get over it, give up his obsession with her, and pursue a new beginning that belonged to him. Chief, there's another patient who wants to see you, but you're not supposed to see them today. Do you want to pick them up? Shinjie ran in, panting. Pick it up. Those who are here to register must be in a hurry to see a doctor. They can't be delayed. Huami nodded and calmly continued to make house calls. At the airport, a young man in a military uniform walked over to Su Yu and saluted him. Young Master Su, the chief asked me to tell you to board the plane. MHM, Su Yu nodded. When his grandfather went out, the plane was specially used by the military. It wasn't as simple as the private planes of the rich. Most importantly, this plane had combat capabilities and was quite powerful. Plus, there were quite a lot of leaders going south this time, so there were a lot of bodyguards following them. Su Yu, as a family member, was just one of them. Do you want to wait a little longer? Maybe she'll come? Tang Chuan couldn't help but ask. There's no need to wait. She won't come. Su Yu knew his place. He knew how Huamin felt about him. So, he didn't have any hope before boarding the plane, so you didn't forget to look back at the empty corridor. She really didn't come. Lord Su, come back soon. Tang Chuan waved his hand reluctantly. Su Yu carried a simple travel bag, smiled, and turned to board the plane. In the afternoon, Huamin was reading documents in his office. A woman wearing sunglasses and a mask pushed open the door and walked in. Hey, miss, you can't go in. Our chief won't be seeing patients in the afternoon. Chunjie wanted to stop her, but she couldn't. Huamin looked up before he could say anything. He saw the woman take off her sunglasses and mask. Huamin froze because this person was Mo Shui. Chapter 1209. Huamin, can we talk? Mo Shui smiled. Sure, but I'm at work right now. I won't take up too much of your time. Mo Shui emphasized. Okay. In the end, Huamin nodded. His assistant saw that Huamin knew this woman, so he didn't say anything else and left. Mo Shui sat down on the chair across from Huamin. She looked a little tired and her face was a little pale. Do you want some water? No, thank you. Should I call you a young lady or Huamin? Mo Shui smiled bitterly and continued to ask. You can call me whatever you like, I don't mind. Then I'll call you Huamin. Huamin nodded after a moment of silence. Emo looked up at Huamin and said, word for word, I'm pregnant. Huh? Huamin was shocked. Emo Shui was still single. She wasn't even married yet, but she was pregnant. After recovering from his shock, Huamin immediately asked, Hua Xiqian. Emo Shui nodded, Huamin didn't know what to say. Emo Shui and Hua Xiqian never announced that they were a couple, so her pregnancy was quite sudden. Does he know? He does. Then what did you guys talk about? Do you want to keep the child? Huamin asked calmly. Emo Shui took a deep breath and looked at Huamin. I came to find you because of this. Hua Xiqian wants me to abort the child. You know that we're just partners in bed. Haha, but I don't want to. I love him and I want to keep the child. Even if he doesn't marry me, I don't care. I just want to have the child. Then give birth to her. The child is in your belly. It's your freedom to keep her or not. Emo Shui smiled bitterly. That's impossible. You don't know Hua Xiqian at all. He won't agree. What can I do for you? Huamin asked the main point. Emo Shui. I must have come to her for a favor. Otherwise, she wouldn't have come all the way to Southside. Emo Shui was silent for a while. Then, she suddenly reached out and grabbed Huamin's wrist. Huamin, I'm begging you. Please help me. Hua Xiqian, he loves you a lot. He'll definitely listen to you. Me? That's impossible. You've overestimated me. Hua Xiqian and I only have a mutually beneficial relationship. Then can you give it a try? Please take pity on me and my child. I beg you, Huamin. Emo Shui's tears fell as she spoke. Huamin's heart softened as he looked at her. A woman was pregnant with a man's child, but the man didn't want it and even forced her to abort it. It was indeed a sad thing. Shui, don't be like this. I don't have a choice. Huamin, I know we're not even friends. I'm begging you because I really don't have a choice. Hua Xiqian is too cold-blooded. He won't listen to anyone. Tell him that as long as I give birth to the child, I'm willing to stop acting and leave the entertainment industry. I'll take care of the child without asking for anything in return. This is actually a private matter between the two of you. I really don't have the right to interfere. You're his favorite sister. The truth is, I'm not really his sister. You know, we're not related by blood. Huamin felt a little awkward. Huamin, Emo Shui, looked at Huamin with tears in her eyes. In the end, Huamin's heart was touched. She really wanted to get pregnant and have a baby, but there was no news about it. Now that Emo Shui was pregnant, even though she was unmarried, a superstar like her could easily have child. Shui, don't cry. I can help you. Chapter 12:10. Really? Really? But have you thought about it? If you can't marry him, the child will have a single-parent family. How will the child live without a father? Won't that be too hard for the child? You might as well find someone who's suitable for you, get married, and have a complete family. Huamin, to be honest, I want to marry Hua Xiqian for the rest of my life. I want to marry him. Then, did you tell him? Haha. When he was with me before, he already reminded me in advance that when we're together, we can play however we want. I can get whatever money I want, but he can't marry me. I was the one who asked for too much. I couldn't control myself and fell into his trap. I can't blame him. It must be hard for you to think that way. Huamin sympathized with Emo Shui. Emo Shui bit her lip and didn't say anything else. How far along are you? A little over 5 weeks. Emo Shui subconsciously touched her belly. Life is magical. Maybe you two are fated to be together. Since you're pregnant, take a break from work. I'll ask the company to give you a break. Thank you, Huamin. Emo Shui was touched. You're welcome. This is what I should do. As for Hua Xiqian, I'll try, but I'm not sure if I'll succeed. He's a strange person sometimes, and I can't get him to listen to me. I know. Emo Shui nodded. But since you asked, I'll try my best. Huamin, thank you so much. Emo Shui thanked him profusely. Then, she left the office. After she left, Huamin was no longer in the mood to work. Mo Shui liked Hua Xiqian, and she had known about it for a long time. It was an open secret that the two of them had been in a relationship for a long time, and everyone in the industry knew about it. However, she didn't expect Mo Schwer to be so serious about giving birth to the child. It was unbelievable. After all, Mo Schwer was a superstar. Why would she do something like this? Looks like the magic of love is really powerful. No matter how smart a woman was or how noble her identity was, she would not be able to resist the desire of a moth flying into a flame. Thinking of this, Huamin sighed slightly. Then he picked up his phone and sent a WeChat message. "Are you there?" "Here," Hua Xiqian replied instantly. This was the first time that Huamin had sent her a WeChat message. It was truly a memorable moment. "I have something to tell you. Sure, I'm all ears." Hua Xiqian sounded very happy. "It's hard to explain on WeChat. Can we meet?" "Of course. You can set the time and place, and I'll be there on time." If Hua Xiqian hadn't heard Hua Min's voice message, she would have thought that her WeChat account had been hacked. Not only did she take the initiative to send him a WeChat message, she even asked him to meet up. Was this really the cold and gentle girl he knew? Huamin looked at his watch. "How about this 6:30 p.m. at Rhine River Cafe on East 3rd Road? You know where it is, right?" "Okay, I'll be there." Then, Huamin sent a WeChat message to Qin Shu, saying that he had something to talk to Hua Xiqian about, and that he didn't have to come to South Side to pick him up. Qin Shu respected Huamin's personal space and privacy. Therefore, he was very straightforward and told him to call when he was done and pick her up. After work, Huamin changed into a medium-length black cotton jacket and a white scarf. Then, he hailed a taxi and went to the cafe. Hua Xiqian was already there. After taking over Hua Zhenghai's role, he became a lot more high-profile. His white Maserati was replaced by a gold Rolls-Royce Phantom. Huamin walked in and walked towards Hua Xiqian. Hua Xiqian picked up a bouquet of lilies from his seat and handed it to him. "Since this is the first time you took the initiative to treat me to coffee, I bought you a bouquet of flowers on the way. If you don't like it, you can throw it away when you leave." After hearing what Hua Xiqian said, Huamin couldn't refuse. He took the flowers and casually placed them on the seat beside him. "Thank you. Little Sister Mian, you look good these days. You become prettier." Hua Xiqian held his coffee and looked at Huamin with a smile. "Let's get down to business. Did you know that Mo Schwer is pregnant?" Chapter 12:11. "I know," Hua Xiqian said casually, as if he didn't think it was important. "The child is yours, right? She told you that?" Hua Xiqian narrowed his eyes and sized up Huamin. "Answer me first, right?" "Yes, so what?" Hua Xiqian replied. "Mo Schwer came to me. She wants to keep the child. Of course, it would be best if you could marry her. It'd be the best of both worlds." "Marry her? Are you crazy?" "Huh." Hua Xiqian smiled coldly. Before Huamin could say anything, Hua Xiqian sat up straight and leaned closer to Huamin. "Mian, this is just a game for adults. It has nothing to do with love. When I first got together with Mo Schwer, I told her that I wouldn't marry her. We were together for what we each needed. All these years, I've spent a lot of money to support her. Isn't that great? If she wants to get married, I won't interfere. But you also have to deal with her accidental pregnancy properly, right? At least give me an explanation. After all, she's a victim." Huamin was more feminine. He thought that accidental pregnancy was because the man was too selfish. If he didn't want it, he should have just worn a condom. If he didn't, he would have been a scumbag if he wanted to have fun, but didn't want to take responsibility. After she asked this question, Hua Xiqian sneered again. "Victim? Her? You mean a woman who set me up, got herself pregnant, and used all kinds of methods to force me to marry her? You said she's a victim? That's the funniest joke I've ever heard. What forced marriage? What scheme?" Huamin immediately asked, sensing that something was fishy. "When we were together, we always wore condoms. Last time I also wore condoms, but she still got pregnant. What does that mean? Isn't it because she tampered with the condoms herself?" Huamin, then, she pretended to be pitiful and said that she didn't want any status. On one hand, she went to the media to expose it. On the other hand, she asked you to be her lobbyist. You said that such a person is a victim. Why can't I see it? Huamin, she's not as pitiful as you think she is. I remember telling you to stay away from her. Don't be fooled by her. How should I put it? She's actually quite scary. Even Song Yisher is no match for her. So, don't get involved in our business. You're involved in this mess too. But, Huamin still wanted to say something, but he was interrupted by Huasiqian. Waiter, give her a fruit salad. Actually, I don't understand. If you're single, why can't you marry Mo Schwer? She's pretty good. At least she's not worse than those so-called socialites. Is it because you want your family to form a marriage alliance and consolidate your position that you'd rather have her abort your child than give her a home? Mian, I've had a wife in mind for many years, but she's not Mo Schwer. Huasiqian said word by word with a serious expression on his face. Huamin, on the other hand, was slightly surprised. Just then, a few women walked in. The voices sounded familiar. Huamin turned around and saw that it was Song Yishuan and a few of her best friends. Song Yishuan had just walked in when she saw Huamin, and her face immediately turned awkward. Yishuan, what's wrong? I don't want to drink coffee here anymore. Let's go. Then, Song Yishuan turned around and left. She kept her promise and backed away from Huamin as soon as she saw him. Mian, I heard that you won a car race against the Song sisters. Huasiqian changed the topic. Chapter 1212. How did you know? That aerial video is really popular on WeChat. I recognize your car right away. Huasiqian smiled. Huamin was speechless. When she thought of that damned video taken by some meddlesome fellow, she was furious. If it wasn't for that video, how would Mr. Qin know about it? How would she be tortured by Mr. Qin the entire night? Ms. Song and her sister. I think they really want to die, Huasiqian said slowly with a cup of coffee in his hand. You hate them too? Yeah, but it won't be long before you see retribution. What do you mean? Huamin didn't understand. Bitches will be punished by the heavens, so I don't think the Song sisters will have a good ending. Huasiqian smiled meaningfully. I'm talking to you about Mo. Sure. You sure know how to change the subject. Huamin looked at him, speechless. You don't have to talk about Mo Schwer. She's smart enough to ask you for help. Tell her that it doesn't matter who she asks. She has to get an abortion, or else I won't let her get away with it. Then, Huasiqian stood up. Before he left, he smiled at Huamin. Your hairstyle today is beautiful. I like it. Huamin froze. She subconsciously touched her hair. It was still in a bun, just like every other day. She didn't know why this guy suddenly said something like that. After Huasiqian left, she called Mo Schwer. She meant that she tried her best, but didn't succeed. Mo Schwer. Or wasn't in a good mood, but she didn't say anything. She hurriedly thanked Huamin and hung up. Huamin then called Qin Shu. 15 minutes later, Qin Shu appeared at the entrance of the coffee shop. Did you wait long, honey? No, just for a little while. Huamin smiled. She didn't take the lilies and left them in the coffee shop. She didn't want to make Mr. Qin jealous. What do you want to eat tonight? Qin Shu asked. Whatever. I don't have much of an appetite recently. No appetite? Could it be? Qin Shu didn't finish his sentence. Huamin immediately explained. No, my period just came today. Oh. Qin Shu nodded and didn't say anything else. However, there was no disappointment in his eyes. He had already let nature take its course when it came to children. It would be better if they had children, but he wouldn't be disappointed if they didn't. He also wouldn't pressure Huamin. What did you talk about with Huasiqian? About the whole corporation? Qin Shu chatted casually. No, it's about his personal matters. Mo Schwer is pregnant and wants to marry Huasiqian. Huasiqian won't agree, Qin Shu said. How do you know? Huamin thought it was quite strange. Huasiqian never cared about Mo Schwer. Why would he marry her? Huasiqian did tell me that he already had a wife in mind many years ago, so he won't marry Mo Schwer? That's strange. Who is it that he's been thinking about for so many years? Is it his first love from school? Huamin muttered curiously. Qin Shu glanced at Huamin with a complicated expression. Did he tell you that? Yeah. Huamin nodded. Honey, in the future, if possible, don't meet Huasiqian alone. I don't really like him. Okay. Huamin nodded obediently. On an island in Southeast Asia, a hot girl in a bikini sat on a rock by the sea. She picked up her phone and said to the other end, Dad, I entered the country a while ago and went to see City. I saw her. Are you crazy? How many times have I told you not to look for her? Don't look for her. The old man on the other end of the phone yelled in exasperation, but I miss her a lot. The girl said with a happy smile on her face. Then how is she doing now? The old man's voice was a little agitated. He seemed to really want to know more about her. Chapter 12:13. She's doing great. She's doing great. Her brain didn't go to waste. She became a doctor, a very good doctor. The girl smiled. That's good. The old man's words seemed to have a deeper meaning. Dad, when can we go and meet her? I can't wait. Now's not the time. You can't mess around. If you don't want to kill her, then don't go. You can't even enter the country. There are too many people watching you. You're taking too much risk. I'm doing it because... Before the girl could finish her sentence, the old man cut her off. The old man angrily hung up the phone. The girl pouted and threw her phone onto the beach. She took out the word pass that she had painstakingly stolen from the bag beside her. She gently touched it. Then she repeated the words, neurology attending physician, Huamin, Huamin. When she said Huamin's name, her eyes were filled with endless gentleness. Song Yisher had been staying at the first hospital ever since she raced with Song Yishuan at Mount Akina. Actually, with her condition, she should have stayed at South Side to recuperate, but she hated Huamin too much. Also, she promised Huamin that if she lost, she and Song Yishuan would have to avoid Huamin. Therefore, she had no choice but to stay at the first hospital. Song Yisher's other body parts were fine, but her nose was a little dented. When the car fell, her head hit the bridge of her nose. If it was an original nose, it would have been fine, since it would only be a slight fracture. However, her nose had been surgically repaired and had to be injected several times before it was fixed. Just like that, her nose was ruined. Song Yisher was furious and didn't talk to Song Yishuan for a few days. Song Yishuan didn't dare to see her cousin either. After she was discharged from the hospital, she had been hiding on the hospital bed. The medical staff removed the white gauze from her nose. The Song family funded a second plastic surgery for Song Yisher's nose. Not only did they spend many years importing injections from abroad, but they also spent many years importing injections. He even hired a famous plastic surgeon from the capital city. Mayor Song really doted on his daughter. Song Yisher held up the mirror and looked at her nose after her plastic surgery, looking left and right. Give it a try. What do you think? Lady Song looked at her daughter nervously. It's just so. Song Yisher didn't seem particularly satisfied. Why do I feel like you're even prettier than before? Look at how voluptuous and perky you are. You're even prettier than before. Lady Song comforted her daughter. I think so. All right. My little ancestor, as long as you're well, it's fine. You really scared your mother to death. Tell me, why are you hanging out with that lunatic Xian? If something really happened, how do you want your mother to live? Don't mention that crazy woman to me. I believe that she regretted it until she died. She almost got me killed. Song Yisher's face darkened at the thought of her cousin. Okay, she was scared out of her wits and was scolded to death by your uncle. Let's be careful this time and drive slower in the future. Mom, does the Qin family know that I'm hospitalized? They do. I told Qin Shu's mother on WeChat. But why didn't they come to see me? Song Yisher asked. Qin Shu's mother said that she went abroad. As for Qin Shu, he probably doesn't know, right? Mom, call Qin Shu and tell him that I'm in the hospital. Sure. Is that necessary? Lady Song didn't understand her daughter's actions. What was the point of calling Qin Shu when she was hospitalized? Of course, I want him to feel bad and know that I'm in this state because of his wife. If Huamin didn't hate me and forced Xian to put me in the passenger seat, I wouldn't have gotten into this accident. That woman has ulterior motives. She's afraid that I'll steal Qin Shu away from her, so she wants to kill me. What a vicious woman. But do you think Qin Shu will believe you? Lady Song was slightly worried. Chapter 12:14. He didn't believe me once or twice, but if I tell him more often, maybe he'll slowly believe me. It's a long road to winning Qin Shu's heart. Mom, I'm not in a hurry. I just want results. As long as Chin Chu is mine in the end, that's enough. I'm willing to do anything. Song Yishu's eyes flashed with a cold light. Lady Song frowned slightly. However, she couldn't dissuade her daughter, so she called Chin Chu. Hello. Woman picked up the phone because Chin Chu was in the shower. I'm Yishu's mother. Oh, how can I help you? Huamin was quite polite. Oh, where's Chin Chu? I'm looking for Chin Chu. He's in the shower. I'm his wife. You can tell me if you need anything. Sure is sick and hospitalized. After all, Chin Chu and my daughter grew up together, so I hope he can come visit. Of course, we don't want any gifts. The Song family doesn't lack anything. We just need a friend's sympathy. I hope you can pass it to Chin Chu. Oh, I see. Okay, I understand. Huamin nodded and hung up the phone. Mom, what did he say? Did he come? Song Yishu placed the mirror in her hand on the bed and asked anxiously. Huamin picked it up. Why is it her? Song Yishu was a little angry. She said Chin Chu was in the shower. That woman is a scheming bitch. She's trying to break me and Chin Chu apart. She's so shameless. Song Yishu was furious. Don't be angry. Maybe she's telling the truth. Although Lady Song loved her daughter, she didn't think Chin Chu's wife was such a bad woman. Mom, what do you know? Huamin is very scheming, or else I wouldn't be in this state. Song Yishu yelled at her mother. Sure, don't be so agitated. This is just right. You should get better. Get better? I don't know if Chin Chu will come visit me. If he doesn't, what's the point of staying here? Hurry up and leave the hospital. It's so annoying. I hate the smell of doctors the most. The formalin is as smelly as the smell of corpses. And these people in white coats, every one of them, I hate damn doctors. Song Yishu was extremely irritated at the hospital. Because of her prejudice against Huamian, she was also prejudiced against doctors. Whenever she saw a doctor in a white coat, she would be annoyed. Seeing her daughter like this, Mrs. Song didn't dare to say anything else. She didn't want to agitate her. South. Chin Chu came out of the shower. His lower body was wrapped in a towel, and his upper body was covered in bronze-colored abs. Huamian gulped and picked up her phone. Honey, it's your call. I'll answer it for you. Who is it? Chin Chu asked as he dried his hair. Song Yishu's mother. What's up? Mr. Chin was expressionless. He didn't care about the Song family. Song Yishu, wasn't she injured? She was in the hospital because of the car race. Lady Song wants you to go see her daughter. Why should I? I heard that you two grew up together, right? Me and her. Chin Chu sneered. She lived with us for a year, and we barely spoke to each other. She said we grew up together. The Song family sure likes to flatter themselves. So, honey, do you want to go see her? I heard that Song Yishuan only suffered some superficial injuries, but Song Yishu's nose was caved in from the fall. What do you think? Chin Chu glanced at Huamin and asked. Chapter 12:15. If I don't go, will Mayor Song be unhappy? I don't care if the mayor is happy or not. Honey, why are you still standing here if you're not going to take a shower? Mr. Chin asked. I'm on my way, huh? After Huamin answered, she ran into the bathroom like a puff of smoke. Looking at Huamin's petite figure, Chin Chu smiled dotingly. Then, he picked up his phone and turned it off. He wasn't interested in the Song family, nor would he be in the future. The next morning, under the name of the Chin clan couple, Huamin sent a flower basket to Song Yishu's room. Huamin thought that since the Song family wanted to express their condolences, he would give them one. She didn't want to make it seem like she didn't want Chin Chu to visit Song Yishu. However, when Song Yishu saw the flower basket, her hair stood on end. This Huamin obviously has ulterior motives. Why would he give me this? He's cursing me to death. What's wrong, sure? How is she cursing you when she gave you flowers? Lady Song was dumbfounded to see her daughter throw a tantrum so early in the morning. If he wanted to give me a gift, he should have given me flowers. This flower basket looks like a wreath. It's obviously cursing me. Also, look at the signature. It says Chin clan couple. Isn't he trying to piss me off? Forget it. Throw it away, you damned woman. Song Yishu kicked the flower basket away. Lady Song had no choice but to ask the nurse to take it away. Song Yishu saw that Chin Chu wouldn't come, so she reluctantly left the hospital and went home to recuperate. Another week passed in the blink of an eye. On this day, Song Yishur officially recovered from her illness. In order to curry favor with the mayor's daughter, all the socialites and heirs in the industry held a private banquet. To celebrate, the mayor and his daughter threw her a private party. Hua Xiqian was also invited. He drove his Rolls-Royce Phantom to the private room on the top floor of Seductive Fox. There were more than 30 people inside, both men and women. The smell of cigarettes was very strong in the private room. Some people were singing, some were drinking, and some were playing finger-guessing games. The main character, Song Yishur, was wearing a white strapless dress and sitting in the middle of the sofa. He didn't seem to be in a good mood. "Hi, Miss Song." "Young Master Hua." Song Yishur raised her head and nodded. "Congratulations on your discharge." Hua Xiqian raised a glass of wine. "Thank you." The two of them gently clinked their glasses before downing the contents in one go. Then Hua Xiqian sat on the other side and started to joke around with the socialites. Song Yishur, on the other hand, was surrounded by a few playboys who were fawning over her. Sure. Do you want to go to the Maldives? I'll treat you to a vacation," a rich second-generation heir said with a smile. "Not interested." Song Yishur coldly refused. What kind of joke was this? Wasn't the Maldives where Huamin and Qin Chu went on their honeymoon? She never planned on going there again. "Miss Song, I'm going out to sea on a cruise tomorrow. Let's go together and enjoy the sea breeze." "I'm sorry, I haven't fully recovered yet. I can't enjoy the sea breeze." Song Yishur continued to refuse. "Little sister, sure. I heard that there's a beautiful jade hairpin from the Han Dynasty at the auction next week. I want to buy it for you. Can you come with me?" "I'm sorry, I don't like antiques." Song Yishur's arrogance made most of the playboys turn her down. Thus, everyone stopped crowding around her. Just then, Hua Xiqian walked out of the crowd and sat down beside Song Yishur. "I heard that you were hospitalized because you were racing with my little sister. Why are you asking the obvious? You did it on purpose, didn't you?" Song Yishur coldly looked at Hua Xiqian. "Ha, I know you like Qin Chu. To be honest, I don't like Qin Chu being with my little sister either. I want to break them up too." Upon hearing what Hua Xiqian said, Song Yishur froze for a second. Then she asked in surprise, "What do you mean? Maybe we can work together. I think, after all, there's strength in numbers." "Work together?" Song Yishur was surprised by Hua Xiqian's suggestion. Chapter 12:16. After all, there's strength in numbers. There's a limit to what you can do alone. But why should I believe you? How do I know that you're not on Huamin's side, and that you're trying to set me up? Song Yishur was very smart. She obviously didn't believe Hua Xiqian's words. "I believe that you're a smart person and can analyze the situation yourself. First of all, Huamin and I aren't related by blood. She's an illegitimate daughter, and I'm adopted. Second of all, the battle for the shares of the Hua Corporation has always been intense. I'm more interested in her shares, but I can't do anything about it. She's even working with Qin Chu to deal with me, which makes me very unhappy. Third of all, I don't like Qin Chu. Whatever he wants, I feel uncomfortable. So, I'd rather destroy Huamin than let her be by Qin Chu's side. Basically, if they're doing well, I feel uncomfortable." After Hua Xiqian said this, Song Yishur looked at him suspiciously. The two of them didn't speak for a long time. In the end, Song Yishur couldn't hold it in anymore and asked, "Do you have any good ideas?" "I do have an idea." "What is it?" Song Yishur asked anxiously. Hua Xiqian looked around and said in a low voice, "Miss Song, there are too many people here, so it's not convenient. How about this? I'll drive you back after this, and we'll talk in the car." Song Yishur thought for a moment, hesitated for a few seconds, and finally nodded. "Okay." Half an hour later, Song Yishur got impatient and announced the end of the party. Then, she refused to be escorted by her friends and got into Hua Xiqian's car. "Can you tell me now? What is it?" Song Yishur really wanted to separate Qin Chu and Hua Xiqian, so she couldn't wait. Hua Xiqian smiled, not in a hurry to answer. Instead, he took out a bottle of mineral water and handed it to Song Yishur. "Don't worry, we have plenty of time. Come, drink some water first." "I'm not thirsty, thank you." Song Yishur pushed the bottle of mineral water away. She was actually very cautious. She would not casually drink something that was given to her by others. Huasiqian smiled. Then he opened the bottle of mineral water and gulped it down. Song Yishur looked at him with a complicated expression. As he screwed the cap back on, he said, "Actually, the key to unraveling them is really you. We need you to complete this plan." "What's the plan? Tell me about it." Song Yishur made up her mind. Huasiqian had a perfect plan. Otherwise, she wouldn't be wasting her breath here with him. "My plan is very complicated. I plan to tell you slowly." Just then, Huasiqian turned on the heater in the car. Song Yishur smelled a strange smell and sneezed twice in a row. "What's that strange smell in your car?" Song Yishur asked with a frown. Actually, just as Huasiqian said this, Song Yishur's vision went black and she fainted. "Okay? I thought you were smart, but you're just a self-righteous idiot. Compared to Mion, you're overestimating yourself. Miss Song, have a good night's sleep. Tomorrow, you'll be surprised." After speaking, Huasiqian reached out his hand and flicked her cheek with a strange smile on his face. The next morning, Song Yishur slowly woke up. She suddenly thought of something and sat up with a whoosh. Her mind was still blank. Just then, the bathroom door opened and Huasiqian walked out. "Good morning, Miss Song." Song Yishur was dumbfounded. She remembered that last night in Huasiqian's car, they were about to talk about a plan. Then, she felt dizzy. Then, she completely lost consciousness. Now, she was sitting on the bed naked, and Huasiqian walked out of the bathroom. The two of them were in a hotel. At this thought, Song Yishur didn't dare to think any further. "Huasiqian, how dare you trick me?" Song Yishur was furious. Chapter 12:17. Song Yishur curled herself up in bed and refused to raise her head. Never in her wildest dreams did she think that she would be played by Huasiqian. Huasiqian walked over. "Miss Song, you need to face reality." Song Yishur jumped up and tried to slap Huasiqian across the face. However, Huasiqian grabbed her wrist tightly. "Since it was your first time, I'll forgive your rudeness, but don't do it again. I don't like rude women." After speaking, Huasiqian pushed Song Yishur onto the bed. "Why did you do that?" Song Yishur clenched her fists and glared at Huasiqian. She wanted to tear him into pieces. He had never felt so humiliated in his life before. "What's there to explain?" Huasiqian lit a cigarette and said nonchalantly, "You're despicable and shameless. Didn't you say that you wanted to discuss the plan with me last night? If I didn't say that, would you have gotten in my car?" Huasiqian smiled. Song Yishur was furious. "Why did you do that? Did I ever offend you? Look at what you're saying. I only slept with you. How is that offending you? Miss Song, you're beautiful and have a good family background. You have no lack of suitors. I've been in love with you for a long time. It's just that my methods are a little more direct." "Bastard, how dare you do this to me? Aren't you afraid that I'll tell my dad and kill you?" Song Yishur pointed at Huasiqian and threatened him. "You're welcome to kill me." Huasiqian spread his hands. He didn't seem to care. "I'm going to tell my dad that you drugged me." "That's rape, do you know that?" "Go ahead. It's best if you talk to your dad about whether or not you want to marry me." "What nonsense are you talking about? Who wants to marry you? Why don't you take a look at yourself? You're just an adopted son, a dog. Why should I marry you? Dream on. Anyway, just wait to be caught." After speaking, Song Yishur hurriedly grabbed her clothes, put them on, and left in a hurry. She walked out of the hotel, still thinking that everything was a dream. Huasiqian didn't seem like a man who was interested in her. Why would he do something like this? Wasn't he afraid of offending her dad? How dare he? Song hailed a taxi and went to the Song's house. Mrs. Song was also surprised to see her like this. Sure, what's wrong? Why didn't you come home last night?" Mrs. Song was extremely worried when she saw her daughter return with disheveled hair and dirty face. "Mom, I'll go upstairs to take a shower and change my clothes first." Song Yishur forced herself to calm down. She went upstairs to take a shower and changed into a clean set of clothes. She carefully reorganized the events of last night. The more she thought about it, the more she felt like it was a trap. Huasiqian purposely teamed up with her, tricked her into the car, and drugged her. At first, she didn't even drink the water Huasiqian handed her because she was wary of him. But later on, she smelled a strange smell in the car and then lost consciousness. Huasiqian took her to the hotel, and then what happened this morning? So, Huasiqian never wanted to deal with Huamin. They were all bait, but what was her purpose in doing so? Was it just to sleep with her? The strange thing was, Song Yisher didn't feel uncomfortable. It didn't seem like she was violated last night. After all, she was sure of that, but it didn't make sense. If he didn't violate her, then why did he take her to a hotel to spend the night? At this thought, Song Yisher rushed downstairs. Sure. Lady Song walked up to her. Mom, I'm going out for a bit. I'll talk to you later. Chapter 12:18. Song Yisher put on her sunglasses and drove straight to the OB-GYN department of the first hospital. After the results came out, her suspicions were confirmed. There were no traces of drugs, and she didn't find any condoms at the hotel. Therefore, Huasiqian didn't touch her at all. What was he trying to do? Just as she was thinking, Song Yisher's phone rang. She picked it up impatiently. Hello? Give it a try. Have you seen the news? What news? Song Yisher frowned slightly. You probably don't know yet. I'll send you a link. Take a look. Then, her best friend hung up. Song Yisher received a link on WeChat. She clicked on it and was completely dumbfounded. The title was eye-catching. Socialite's daughter and son's relationship is suspected, and they spent the night together at a hotel. The first photo was of Huasiqian carrying her into a hotel. The second photo was of the two of them in bed. The so-called bed photo was actually a photo of their faces touching each other when they were asleep. It was obvious that they posed for the photo. The third photo was of her sneaking out of the hotel this morning. With these three photos, her relationship with Huasiqian was basically confirmed. Even though she knew that they didn't actually have sex, outsiders wouldn't look at these photos. They would only look at the photos. Damn it, Huasiqian. Song Yisher clenched her fists tightly. She bit her lips so hard that they turned white. The person who leaked the photos must have been Huasiqian himself, because the second photo was so close to her, so it must have been him. She picked up her phone and dialed number. What? You miss my mom already? Huasiqian was still smiling proudly. Huasiqian, what do you want? Song Yisher gritted her teeth and asked word by word. Marry me. I like you so much, and we even slept together. I have to be responsible for you. Who wants to marry you? Who wants you to take responsibility for her? You better delete the photos immediately. I'm really sorry. The news has already spread. I guess everyone knows about it now. It's useless to mend the pen after the sheep are lost. I have no enmity with you. Why do you want to harm me? Song Yisher was about to explode from anger. I'm not harming you. I just want to marry you. There are so many women. Why me? Because your father is the mayor. Huasiqian was realistic. After hearing this, Song Yisher was so angry that she wanted to swear. She hung up the phone with a bang. When he returned to the Song family, his entire face was dark. Sure, you're finally back. What's going on with the news? Your dad just called me to ask about it. I don't know either. Your dad is furious. Mom, I was set up. Set up? Yeah, Huasiqian set me up. There's nothing going on between us. He wants a father-in-law like my dad. That's why he set me up. I was too naive. I actually believed him and got into his car. He was the one who leaked the photos and the news. Then what should we do now? When is Dad coming back? The day after tomorrow. He's in a meeting in Jing City. Lady Song was also very anxious. Oh no, what should we do? Song Yisher was also panicking. How is she going to deal with this crisis when her dad wasn't home? Most importantly, everything happened so suddenly that she was caught off guard. She never thought that Huasiqian would do something to her. Chapter 12:19. Song Yisher originally wanted to sue Huasiqian for violating her and claiming that she was drugged and raped. However, those were all words she said out of anger. After she calmed down, she realized that she couldn't say those words. Putting everything else aside, if her father's identity was exposed, how would she survive in the future? Plus, she was a socialite. If news of her being raped were exposed, how would she get married in the future? Not to mention competing with Qin Chu. Reputation was too important. If this was exposed, it would be the biggest scandal in Sea City. The mayor's daughter was raped. Wouldn't that be a joke? Hwasichian probably knew that she didn't dare to call the police or bite back. That was probably why he was so ostentatious. Song Yishur wasn't satisfied, so she called Hwasichian again. Baby, sure. I'm in a meeting, he purposely said in front of all the board of directors. Hwasichian, you just want to use my father's power to help you expand your territory. How about this? If you have any requests, I'll ask my father to help you. However, you have to release a joint statement with me to prove that we were framed and that the photos were photoshopped. Sure. Are you kidding me? The photos are real. How could they be photoshopped? Hwasichian laughed. Hwasichian, is there no room for negotiation? Of course, let's get married. Fuck you, get married, you idiot. This was the first time in Song Yishur's life that she cursed. Hwasichian really forced her into a corner. She wanted to kill him to vent her anger. Faced with Song Yishur's curses, Hwasichian smiled slightly. Baby, stop messing around. I'm in a meeting. See you later. In front of outsiders, everyone thought that Hwasichian and Song Yishur were in a relationship. Even their friends who had hung out with them that night thought that the two of them had gotten drunk and gotten together. Song Yishur's phone was bombarded with messages. There were media reporters, close friends, and some unrelated people. She was about to go crazy from anger. At this moment, she thought of someone who might be able to save her. GK headquarters. Miss Song, our boss is having a meeting. It's okay, I'll wait here. Ugh. Yang really didn't like Song Yishur now because she knew that their boss was married, yet she still wanted to fight with a young lady over him. Most importantly, she was a troublemaker, always finding fault with Hwamin. Fortunately, a young lady was more open-minded and didn't want to lower herself to her level. Sometimes, Yang thought that a young lady was actually quite tired. She had to be on guard against all kinds of vixens every day, including Jiang Linyue and Song Yishur. He was even on guard against his cousin, who came from the countryside. What Yang didn't know was that his boss was even more tired. He had to be on guard against Su Yu, Hwasichian, and even an award-winning actor from out of town. He had to constantly worry about his wife being flirted with. That was enough to worry about. That was why it wasn't easy to live at the top of the pyramid, men and women alike. Song Yishur was determined to not leave until she saw Qin Chu. Qin Chu waited for 40 minutes until it was almost noon before the meeting with the executives came to an end. As soon as he returned to his office, he saw Song Yishur sitting there. Qin Chu, you're back. Song Yishur immediately stood up. Qin Chu turned around and glanced at Yang with a murderous look in his eyes. Boss, I tried to talk to Miss Song, but she refused to leave. She said she had something urgent to talk to you about. Yang said innocently. Chapter 12:20. You can leave now. After Qin Chu finished speaking, he coldly glanced at Song Yishur. What's the matter? Qin Chu, you're the only one who can help me now. My dad is in a meeting in Jing City and can't come back. Other than my dad, you're the person I trust the most, so you have to help me. What's the matter? Seeing Song Yishur speak with tears in her eyes, Qin Chu only felt annoyed. He hated it when women cried and wailed to gain sympathy. His Mion wouldn't be like this. Have you seen the news? What news? The one about me and Hwasichian. No. Here's the thing. I was set up by Hwasichian. He set me up for his own benefit and forced me to marry him because of my father's status. I don't want to marry him, but there are so many rumors going around that I can't clear my name. Can you help me? After thinking for a while, Qin Chu said something that almost made Song Yishur vomit blood. He said, I think you and Hwasichian are a good match. Song Yishur's face turned green. When she heard this, she smiled awkwardly. Qin Chu, are you joking with me? I never joke with people I don't know well, Qin Chu said with a serious expression. But I don't like Hwasichian. Then why are there photos of you in bed? Qin Chu turned on his phone and saw that his WeChat moments were all over the news. The 3 photos were clear. He raised his phone and showed it to Song Yishur. Song Yishur felt extremely awkward. She exposed photos of her in bed with another man in front of the man she liked. There was nothing more tragic than this. Although she and Hua Xiqian really didn't do anything, who would believe it? Other than the person involved, no one would believe it. Everyone would only believe what they saw with their own eyes. I fell into his trap. Last night, he told me he wanted to talk to me about something at Seductive Fox. I got into his car and was mesmerized by him. Then, he took me to a hotel. That's rape, you know? I'm innocent. It was that despicable Hua Xiqian who framed me. If that's the case, you should tell the police. I can't tell you. It's about my father's and my reputation. It's useless to look for me. I can't help you. I was wondering if you could find someone to suppress the public opinion and help me release a statement saying that we were together last night and that those photos were photoshopped. Sorry, I can't help you. Qin Shu, I'm begging you. Song Yishur cried as she walked over. She actually wanted to throw herself into Qin Shu's arms, hug him, and cry. She wanted him to be gentle with her. However, when she rushed over, Qin Shu suddenly dodged. Song Yishur's head hit the tempered glass. There was a loud bang. She didn't expect this. So she saw stars. Sir, what's wrong? Yang, who was outside the door, heard the commotion. He immediately opened the door and came in to check. Yang, see her out. Qin Shu, we've known each other for so many years. We grew up together. Don't tell me you. Before Song Yishur could finish, Qin Shu mercilessly interrupted her. Let me correct you. I don't even know you. You only live in my house when you were young, but we didn't talk. So, basically, we don't have any feelings for each other. Don't mislead others with these words. After hearing Qin Shu's words, Song Yishur's expression turned cold. She never thought that Qin Shu could be so heartless. Why was he always so gentle to Huamin? It was as if he couldn't bear to speak loudly to Huamin. What was the difference between her and Huamin? Miss Song, this way please. Yang saw an opportunity and walked up to her. Song Yishur helplessly covered her head and walked out in embarrassment. Southside Recuperation Center. Huamin was about to take a lunch break when her phone started ringing with WeChat notifications. She picked it up and was dumbfounded. Chapter 1221. It turned out to be Huamin, Jiang Xiaowei, and Zhu Lingling's WeChat group. As the saying goes, 3 women make a show. This saying was true. Huamin was a person who didn't like to gossip, but after being influenced by the 2 of them, he slowly became one as well. The 3 of them often teased and joked in the group, and sometimes they even dug into the celebrities' private lives. Huamin was busy all morning, so he didn't know about the news about Hua Xiqian and Song Yishur. However, Zhu Lingling and Jiang Xiaowei were the 2 gossipers. Zhu Lingling, okay, take a look, the #1 scandal in C-City. The mayor's daughter fooled around with a man in a hotel. How shameless. Jiang Xiaowei, does she have any shame? Sleeping with Hua Xiqian is too good for her. At least Hua Xiqian is a handsome guy. It would be a miracle if she didn't find a gigolo. Huamin, everyone, what happened? What do you mean by sleeping together? Who slept with who? Zhu Lingling. Mian, your hospital doesn't have internet. Didn't you see the news? Jiang Xiaowei. Here's the link. You're welcome. Please add me. Huamin clicked on the link that Jiang Xiaowei gave him and was dumbfounded. Hua Xiqian and Song Yishur. This was an unimaginable couple. There was no news about them before. What was going on? Huamin, is this real? Jiang Xiaowei. I don't think it's fake. Although they didn't say anything, I asked the technical department to analyze the photo. It wasn't photoshopped at all. The bed photo is real, so they must be having an affair. Maybe it was just a drunken hookup, but they were found out. Huamin, speechless. Zhu Lingling. Hua Xiqian's taste is terrible. Mo Shui. Is so pretty. She's even more real than Song Yishur. Why would he sleep with her? I don't understand. Jiang Xiaowei. I'm curious too. Last time at Hua Xiqian's cosplay party, I noticed that Hua Xiqian seemed to hate Song Yishur. There shouldn't be any sparks between them. Could it be? Zhu Lingling, what do you mean? What is Professor Zhang's opinion? Jiang Xiaowei. Are you talking about avenging my Mian and getting rid of her scourge? Huamin really didn't know what to say. However, when he thought about it carefully, Jiang Xiaowei's words made sense. Hua Xiqian had said more than once that he would help her deal with Song Yishu. At that time, she didn't think much of it and thought that he was just saying it casually. After all, Song Yishu was the mayor's daughter, so it wasn't easy to deal with her. Now that she saw the news that Hua Xiqian slept with Song Yishu, it was indeed shocking. Could this be the revenge that Hua Xiqian was talking about? This is really an accident. Zhu Lingling, I don't care so much. Anyway, Bitch Song's scandal this time is really karma. With her scumbag appearance, she should have exposed some dirt a long time ago so that she doesn't have to act all high and mighty and pretend to be a goddess. It's disgusting. Jiang Xiaowei, you're right. This time, she'll suffer a lot. I'm looking forward to seeing how she deals with this, haha. Then, Jiang Xiaowei went to Sina Weibo. Many fans asked Jiang Xiaowei on her Weibo, is the Song Goddess thing true? These fans had always thought that she and Bitch Song were good friends. Jiang Xiaowei didn't say much. She only posted 2 words on Weibo, congratulations. What was worse was that she had Song Yishu and Hua Xiqian. This way, Hua Xiqian and Song Yishu's relationship was confirmed. Jiang Xiaowei's fans were in an uproar as they gossiped. Chapter 1222. I told you it was real. Even Dr. Jiang came to congratulate them. Yeah, I didn't think that Song Goddess would fall for President Hua. I heard that President Hua is a playboy. Wow, looks like our Wei Wei knows the inside story. Isn't President Hua in a relationship with Mo Shuer? Why is he involved with Song Yishu? Gosh, the rich circle sure is messy. Don't talk about Shuer, you idiot. Mo Shuer. Er's fans went crazy and started arguing. It seems like they're going to announce their relationship soon. Then, a large group of fans went to Song Yishu's Weibo to spam. Song Yishu's most recent Weibo post was last night when she was having a party at Seductive Fox. She took a selfie. It was beautiful. Then, she took a glass of red wine. She wrote, I've recovered from a serious illness and have been discharged from the hospital. Thank you to everyone who cared about me. Fans started spamming this Weibo post. Goddess, is it true that you and President Hua are together? Sure. Why did you choose Hua Xiqian? He's a playboy and has a bad reputation in the circle. Song Goddess, Hua Xiqian is in a relationship with Mo Shuer. You need to be careful. Pretty girl, do I have no chance? Boo-hoo. Goddess, when are you going to send us wedding candy? Congratulations, you're finally going to be single. We believe in your taste. It's hard to say right now. Don't make things worse. Our Sure hasn't admitted it yet. It hasn't been confirmed yet. Didn't Dr. Jiang admit it? He even tagged Sure. I think it's most likely true, right? Yeah, President Hua is single. Our Sure is also single. They're a perfect match. No matter what, we'll give you our blessings and support your decisions. Sure, good luck. We love you. Baby Sure, can you send us a selfie? No matter how I look at it, you're still the prettiest. You're natural, unlike those plastic surgery bitches. Sure. I've always thought that you and President Qin are a perfect match. It's a pity that he's married. What a pity. I've always thought that you two would be a couple. Song Yishu inadvertently scrolled through Weibo and was about to go crazy. This matter was already messy enough, and Jiang Xiaowei actually came to add insult to injury, which really made her choke with anger. However, there was no way for her to clarify the matter unilaterally. After all, she wasn't sure if Hua Xiqian had more shocking revelations, so she could only swallow her anger. After this matter was exposed, there was another person who was extremely concerned about it. It was Mo Shuer. It was true that she was pregnant. It was also true that she was pregnant with Hua Xiqian's child. However, she did not expect such a thing to happen between Hua Xiqian and Song Yishu at this critical juncture. In this way, the matter of her using the child to force him to marry her would be far in the future. Hua Group headquarters Mo Shuer walked in wearing high heels and a dark brown cashmere coat. She looked like a queen. The truth was Mo Shuer was pretty good in all aspects. It was just that Hua Xiqian never wanted to marry her. Xiqian, why are you here? Hua Xiqian looked up. I'm here to congratulate you. Congratulations on finally finding a good wife for yourself. Song Yisher is really good, and most importantly, her father is good. Emo Shui. Mocking tone was so obvious that Huasiqian could obviously hear it. If you're here to mock me, then go ahead. I'm going back to work. Huasiqian didn't care what Mo Shui said. He didn't need to explain to anyone what he had decided on. Seeing Huasiqian like this made Mo Shui even angrier. She walked over in a few steps, grabbed the documents in Huasiqian's hands, and threw them to the side. Huasiqian, are you serious this time? You chose Song Yisher? Chapter 1223. So what? What does that have to do with you? Huasiqian raised his head and retorted mercilessly. Mo Shui. O's heart ached as she clutched her stomach. I always thought that even if I couldn't marry you, giving birth to your child would be a blessing. At least, you can't marry me because of someone you like. But the person you like isn't Song Yisher. Why did you marry her? Didn't you say it yourself? Because she has a good father. Huasiqian didn't think much of it. Mo Shui shook her head. You can fool others, but you can't fool me. With your abilities, you don't need Mayor Song's help. You don't need to sacrifice yourself for them. You're only doing this for one person, right? Upon hearing this, Huasiqian's expression changed slightly. Stop trying to be smart with me. It's not good for you to talk too much. Huasiqian stared at Mo Shui with a hint of annoyance. Logically speaking, after being together for so many years, they understood each other, and their feelings for each other should be quite deep. Even if they didn't love each other, after sleeping with each other for so long, there should be something going on. However, Huasiqian felt like Mo Shui was becoming less and less cute. She clearly didn't have a high IQ, but she liked to pretend to be smart. She was always a busybody, and in the past year, she didn't talk much either. He was tired of her, so sometimes he would rather sleep with young plastic surgery models than touch her. Are you scared? Huh, I'm going to say it. Does she know that you've done so much for her? Actually, you're quite pitiful. You're not even as honest as Suyu. At least Suyu dares to speak his mind and tell the whole world how he feels about her. You, on the other hand, are just like a rat who can only hide in the dark and watch her. Or rather, covet her. But she doesn't know what you're thinking. She'll never know, huh? Mo Shui was also triggered by Huasiqian and Song Yisher. That was why she said these things without caring about her image. Huasiqian was really angry, so he suddenly stood up. She grabbed Mo Shui by the neck. Then he pinned her down and pushed her against the wall. Do you believe that I can make you disappear from this world anytime I want? Then so what? It doesn't matter if I die or not, but as long as Qin Chu is alive, you will never get Huamin. Huasiqian was infuriated by Mo Shui's words. He grabbed Mo Shui's neck and lifted her up slowly. With a bang, he was thrown 3 meters away. Mo Shui felt dizzy from the fall. She lay on the ground, unable to get up no matter how hard she tried. Huasiqian was scary when he was angry, but when Huasiqian was scary, he was also cold and heartless. Mo Shui felt a sharp pain in her stomach. Dark red blood splattered out from under her body. My child. She lay on the ground, her face pale. I never wanted to have a child. People like me shouldn't have children, because when they're born, they'll be even scarier than I am. After speaking, Huasiqian sneered and dialed an internal number. Take her to the hospital. Mo Shui was sent to the first hospital by Huasiqian's employees. She couldn't keep the child, so she immediately had an abortion when she arrived at the hospital. Mo Shui lay on the operating table with tears in her eyes. She hated Huasiqian, and she also hated the woman that Huasiqian had been obsessed with for so many years. After work, Huamin came out and saw Qin Chu's car parked outside. She happily got into the car. Honey, I'm a little hungry. So, do you want to have sex in the car? Qin Chu faintly replied. Chapter 1224. Ahem, what are you talking about? I'm really hungry, not that kind of hungry. She was speechless to have a dirty-minded husband at home. Qin Chu smiled slightly and drove away. What are we eating? Honey? Gao Ran and the others are waiting for us to eat hot pot. Is Basha restaurant okay? That's great, haha. Huamin smiled. Basha restaurant was a special hot pot restaurant that was famous for its spiciness. It was said that the chili oil was made from red peppers that were only found in Sichuan. It tasted incredibly sour. If it was someone who had never eaten it before, they would definitely have diarrhea the first time they ate it. However, the four of them could handle spicy food and couldn't eat anything without it. Upon hearing that they were going to eat hot pot with Gao Ran and Zhu Lingling, Huamin's mood improved even more. Did you see the news today? Qin Shu asked casually, huh? Honey, you like to gossip too? Huamin tilted his head and looked at Qin Shu, amused. It's quite sudden. Me too. My first reaction was that the photo wasn't real, but she slightly said that the photo wasn't photoshopped. She had someone verify it, so it shouldn't be wrong. I'm more curious about Hua Xiqian's motive. Qin Shu felt a little uneasy. Every time Hua Xiqian did something big, he had this feeling. Isn't he trying to suck up to Mayor Song? Qin Shu shook his head. With the Hua Corporation's current power, even without the Song family's support, he's like a fish in water. So, there's no need for him to do this. Any socialite would be a good choice. I don't know why he chose Song Yishur. Maybe it's because he thinks she's suitable. Huamin didn't mention that Hua Xiqian promised to help him get rid of Song Yishur. Firstly, he was afraid that Qin Shu would think too much. Secondly, Hua Xiqian's words might not necessarily be true. It was true that outsiders could not understand the way he did things. At this time, Huamin's phone rang. Hello, Schwer. It was Mo Schwer. Huamin, I had a miscarriage. Huamin was surprised again. Didn't Mo Schwer just promise her that she would keep the child? Why did she have an abortion so soon? I'm at the hospital. The baby is gone. Mo Schwer's voice was weak. What's wrong with you? Is it related to today's news? Huamin asked. Anyway, he doesn't care if I live or die. It's good that the child is gone. At least he won't have to suffer with me. Then you should rest well. The company will give you some time off. Don't feel burdened. I know, Huamin. Do you know why Hua Xiqian did this to Song Yishur? Mo Schwer suddenly asked. I'm not sure. Huamin replied uncertainly. Mo Schwer's laughter made Huamin's hair stand on end. What's wrong? Nothing, I was just asking. Go do what you need to do. Then Mo Schwer hung up the phone. Huamin was confused by the series of events that happened. She had a feeling that the news and Mo Schwer's miscarriage had something to do with Hua Xiqian. However, no one could understand that man's thoughts when they arrived at Basha restaurant. Gao Ran and Zhu Lingling had already ordered food. The four of them chatted casually in the private room. Just then, Zhu Lingling was scrolling through the news on her phone when she suddenly said, Hey, look, there's news about the Hua Corporation again. Huamin looked down and saw that it said, The chairman of the Hua Corporation, Mr. Hua Xiqian, has resigned. With 75% of the company's shares, Mr. Hua Xiqian has become the heir to the Hua Corporation. From now on, he will be in charge of the Hua Corporation's lifeline. The old man lost. Huamin said faintly. Hua Xiqian has been making a lot of moves lately. Is he up to something big? Gowron felt like something was wrong. Chapter 1225. It's hard to say. Qin Shu thought about it seriously. Hey, let's not worry about that. What does their business have to do with us? Even if Hua Xiqian really likes bitch Song, that's their business. There's a saying that goes, a bitch and a dog will last forever. Even though Hua Xiqian isn't a dog, but Song Yishur is a bitch. Yeah, that's it. Zhu Lingling analyzed with a smile. Huamin, Qin Shu, Gao Ran, Lingling, watch your words. You can't be so rude. You're going to be a family member of a police officer. Zhu Lingling rolled her eyes at him and retorted. So what if I'm a family member of a police officer? Can't family members speak freely? She's a bitch, but she doesn't let people talk about her. If she doesn't want people to talk about her, then she shouldn't be such a bitch. Okay, let's not talk about this here. The question is, I'm hungry. Can we eat now? Huamin looked at the boiling hot pot and was about to drool Maybe it was because she had a lot of work, she was busy all afternoon, and didn't eat much for lunch, so she was especially hungry. You've been eating a lot lately. What's going on? Are you pregnant? Screw you. Hurry up and eat. I'm starving. Huamin was speechless. Hurry up and tell me, are you pregnant? Zhu Lingling also wanted Huamin to be pregnant. Therefore, she was more anxious than she was. I'm really not pregnant, sis. My period just came. After Huamin finished speaking, even Gao Ran looked awkward. Ahem. Do you have any plans for the end of the year? Aren't you guys going on vacation? Gao Ran changed the subject. No, I'm staying at home with Mion's mom. Qin Chu said faintly. Good son-in-law, you know that Jixin isn't home, so you're extra nice to your mother. Zhu Lingling was Mr. Qin's die-hard fan. He gave Mr. Qin a thumbs up. The four of them chatted as they ate in the villa of the Song family. The coverage of this incident was so good that it became a big drama. Almost every day, the media would talk about this matter. Lady Song would be surrounded by the media as soon as she stepped out of the house. Song Yishur was so scared that she didn't even dare to leave the house. Initially, he thought that he could just drag it out and wait for Mayor Song to come back. That night, Hui Xiqian went on a financial interview program. In the end, he revealed his relationship on the program. This made Song Yishur very angry. It was originally a financial program with a low income rate. However, the news had been too hot recently, causing this program to become the viewership champion for the same period of time. When Huamin returned home, he turned on the TV and happened to watch this scene. It was supposed to be a program about stocks, but at the end of the segment, the host suddenly asked, President Hua, since the news has been quite popular lately, I would like to gossip a little. Can you tell us about your relationship with Miss Song Yishur? Hua Xiqian first smiled. Then he said, Sure is very beautiful. I've always admired her. Oh, the audience sighed. This sentence made the relationship between the two even more ambiguous. Are those photos real? The host asked again. Those photos are real, but it's not what everyone thinks. At the time, we had a lot to drink, so we went to a hotel to rest. However, we didn't do anything. Hua Xiqian did this on purpose. The more he talked about it, the worse the situation became. An adult man and woman checking into a 5-star hotel and not doing anything. Who would believe it if he told them? Therefore, Hui Xiqian was very good with his words. With his words, he confirmed their relationship. However, the truth was, Hui Xiqian really didn't do anything that night. After he drugged Song Yishur, he took off her clothes and threw her onto the bed. Hui Xiqian played games on his phone for half the night. In the end, he was tired, so he lay down on the sofa for a while. Although he was a playboy, he was very picky and didn't sleep with just any woman. He was disgusted by Song Yishur's face, so even if she asked him to do it, he wouldn't do it. In front of the TV, Song Yishur was so angry that her hands trembled. Hui Xiqian, you and I are irreconcilable. You hurt me like this, let's see how I'll get back at you. Chapter 12:26. Hua Xiqian's visit unintentionally pushed the issue to the climax. 2 days later, Song Yishur put on a pair of sunglasses and discreetly sat in her chauffeur's Audi A8 to pick up Mayor Song at the airport. She originally thought that she would be discreet and wouldn't be discovered, but she was still surrounded by paparazzi. Miss Song, did you and Mr. Hua Xiqian announce your relationship? Miss Song, there are rumors that you wanted to interfere with President Qin and Lady Qin's marriage. Is that true? Miss Song, what do you think about what Hua Xiqian said last night? Miss Song, out of all your suitors, is Mr. Hua the most outstanding? Is the Hua Corporation the company that Mayor Song wants to support? Miss Song, you and Huamin are good friends. So, did Mrs. Qin introduce you to Hua Xiqian? Has the wedding date been set? Will it be in China? Will you work at the Hua Corporation after marriage? Will you still be in art school? Did Mayor Song agree to your marriage? Can you tell us more about it? There are also rumors that you two weren't close before. Was it a mistake after drinking? After all, you're both adults. So, was it a one-night stand with President Hua? Would Mayor Song mind your private life being so casual? No matter how smart Song Yishur was, She couldn't handle the reporter's indiscriminate questions. She was completely stunned. Her face was dark, and she didn't say a word. Under the guidance of her bodyguard, she went straight to the VIP lounge. After entering, she took off her sunglasses and threw them on the table. "Miss Song, your coffee." "Take it away. I'm not thirsty," Song Yishur said in a bad mood. Hua Xiqian really messed up all her plans. Otherwise, she would have gone one step further and exposed Hua Min's dirty secrets. She had even thought of a plan and implemented the first step, but she didn't expect that before she could do anything. Hua Xiqian made the first move and set her up. Song Yishur was clear that Hua Xiqian did not frame her because he liked her. He would not marry her just because of her father's right. She had a feeling that Hua Min had something to do with this. Could it be that Hua Min and Hua Xiqian were in cahoots to frame her? It was hard to say. Hua Xiqian, Hua Min, these two bitches. No one with the surname Hua is a good person. One day, I will make sure that there is no one with the surname Hua in Sea City. How disgusting. Song Yishur clenched her fists and made up her mind. 20 minutes later, Mayor Song came out from the VIP passage. "Dad!" She immediately walked up to him. "Let's talk in the car." Mayor Song's expression was serious. He had been an official his whole life and had nothing to worry about. He was about to retire in a few years. Yet, he caused such a huge mess. If Mayor Song hadn't been in Jing City, this incident wouldn't have dragged on until now. In the Audi A8, Mayor Song glanced at his daughter. "What happened?" "Dad, Hua Xiqian was lying. He set me up. Did you know that?" "Why did he set you up?" "How would I know? Maybe part of it was because he wanted to use your power, and the other part, maybe it was because of some other grudge. Anyways, nothing happened between us. Do you know how despicable he is? He drugged me and dragged me to the hotel. I didn't know what happened until I woke up and realized it was a trap. It's all my fault for being so careless. I didn't think Hua Xiqian would be so daring as to touch me. He really doesn't want to live anymore. Dad, you can't let him go this time." Song Yishur rattled on and on about what had happened. Chapter 12:27. Mayor Song listened to her quietly. "Dad, why don't you call the police and arrest him? He's a criminal. He drugged me and then kidnapped me. Yes, we can also charge him with rape. What do you think?" For the past few days, Song Yishur had been thinking about how to deal with Hua Xiqian. After all, her father wasn't the mayor for nothing. Sure, it's not that simple. If he was an ordinary man, it might be possible, but he's Hua Xiqian. I've been investigating him for the past 2 days. He's very powerful and has a good relationship with many government officials. His influence in the city is also deeply rooted. If we arrest him for no reason and we don't even have evidence, something will happen. He's just an ordinary entrepreneur. How can he be so powerful? An ordinary entrepreneur? Who told you he's an ordinary entrepreneur? Mayor Song coldly glanced at his daughter's face. Isn't he? Song Yishur was confused. Of course not. He's a complicated person. He has connections with foreign forces. Anyways, we can't touch him. Then what should we do now? The news is getting out of hand, and I don't want to affect you because of me. Mayor Song was silent for a long time. Finally, he made a decision. Marry him. Dad, are you stupid? Song Yishur immediately exploded. I'm not stupid. You're the one who's stupid. This is the best solution. We can't ignore our image. We have no other choice. Dad, I don't want to marry him. I want to kill him right now. This is only a temporary solution. After you get married, you can find an excuse to get a divorce. But right now, we have to get married. Otherwise, we won't be able to stop people from talking. Dad, but Song Yishur wanted to say something, but Mayor Song stopped her with one sentence. No buts. If you still care about my reputation and the Song family's reputation, then listen to me. Tomorrow, you can hold a press conference and announce your relationship. Didn't Hua Xiqian say that he wants to marry you? Then get married. Mayor Song's words were a done deal. Song Yishur's heart fell to the bottom once again. She thought that when her father came back, he would think of a way to salvage the situation. Who knew that her father would actually ask her to get married? She was so angry. In the afternoon, Song Yishur drove to the Qin family. She saw Lady Qin, whom she hadn't seen in a long time. Mama Qin, I miss you so much. She took the initiative to give Lady Qin a hug, but Lady Qin was not as enthusiastic as before and hugged her back. He just asked calmly, "Why are you here? I miss you so much. By the way, where's Mr. Qin? He's out playing golf with an old friend." Oh. Song Yisher then looked around as if she was looking for something. "Mama Qin, has Qin Chu come back recently?" "No, he's busy. Actually, it's possible that Huamin doesn't want him to come back. Huamin is a very vengeful person. After what you did to her in the past, she must have something against you." "No, Huamin is a very kind child. We've already talked things out." Lady Qin directly refuted. Song Yisher felt a little awkward and then said, "Mama Qin, have you seen the news these past few days?" "Oh, it's about your relationship with that kid from the Hua family, right? I was just about to tell you that he's a good guy. Although he's the adopted son of the Hua family, he's the one calling the shots in the family. He's also good-looking, so I don't think your parents would disagree. Why did you have to make it onto the news? You're embarrassing your father." Lady Qin's tone sounded like she was lecturing her. Chapter 1228. "Mama Qin, that's not true. I'm not in a relationship with him. He set me up." "Set you up?" "Yeah, he's Huamin's older brother, so I think Huamin said something to him, and that's why he set me up." "That's impossible. Mian isn't the type to stir up trouble. Plus, she doesn't have a good relationship with that guy. She also left the Hua Corporation and didn't ask for any shares, so what you said doesn't make sense." Lady Qin obviously didn't believe Song Yisher's words. "Mama Qin, Huamin isn't as simple as you think." "Yeah, you're not as simple as I think you are either." Lady Qin looked at Song Yisher and said word for word. "Mama Qin." Song Yisher was surprised by Lady Qin's words. Sure. I used to like you a lot. You're a child, and you used to live with us, so I treated you like family. When you lived with us for a year, you ate whatever Qin Chu ate, and we didn't treat you badly. Later, when you went abroad and your dad got promoted, he took extra care of our family. Our families are old friends now." "You're right." Song Yisher nodded. "In the past, I didn't want you to be Qin Chu's wife. After all, our families are well matched, and you're an obedient and sensible child. But later, I realized that love can't be forced. No matter how much I like you, it doesn't matter if Qin Chu doesn't like you. Plus, I realized that Huamin is a good kid, except for his family background, so I didn't want to make things difficult for him. But if you really care about our family, you shouldn't continue to talk bad about Huamin. It's normal for girls to be jealous, but if you keep being jealous of others, then you'll never be happy. You're still young, so why bother? Am I right?" Lady Qin's words didn't have a single dirty word, but Song Yisher's face turned red. She couldn't even lift her head. "Mama Qin, I'm not targeting Huamin, nor am I jealous of her. I just think that she doesn't treat Qin Chu that well. Qin Chu treats her too well, so it's a little unfair." Song Yisher explained. "Love is never fair. I've been married to your father for more than 20 years, and I've bullied him for more than 20 years. Is he going to divorce me because of this?" Song Yisher. Lady Qin was very eloquent. Song Yisher was speechless. "Besides, whether it's fair or not is a matter between the two of them. I hope that no matter if it's you or me, we won't get involved, right?" "Yes." Song Yisher forced herself to nod. Sure, you're not young anymore. Qin Chu has been married for so long. You should let go of what you should. You're still young, and you need to have your own family. So, I hope that you won't be so impulsive in the future." Mama Qin is right. Song Yisher forced a smile. Song Yisher didn't waste any more time. She hurriedly said goodbye to Lady Qin, turned around, and left the Qin manor. "You old bitch. How dare you lecture me? Who do you think you are?" Song Yisher slammed the steering wheel in exasperation. She hadn't been doing well recently. Ever since the car accident, nothing seemed to go well for her. It was as if she stepped on asshole. She blamed all of this on Huamin. If it weren't for her, she wouldn't be so unlucky. In this world, there was such a person who never reflected on her own mistakes. Every time something unpleasant happened, She would blame others and so on. Song Yishur was this type of person. Southside Recuperation Center. Huamin had been busy all morning. Just as he was about to eat, he saw Song Yishur angrily barge into his office. Huamin, let's talk. Chapter 1229. Huamin glanced at Song Yishur coldly. No need. I don't think there's anything to talk about between us. It wasn't like before, when at least they didn't have a falling out. However, after the car race with Song Yishuan last time, Huamian broke up with him. This meant that he had broken up with Song Yishur. Since they didn't like each other, there was no need to pretend to be friends anymore. He also didn't want to waste his precious time on Song Yishur. Huamian used to think that she was pretty smart and had more tricks up her sleeve than Jiang Linyue. However, he later realized that she was just as stupid. She couldn't learn from her mistakes and still wouldn't turn back. She was terrifyingly stubborn. You have to talk to me, Song Yishur said in a firm tone. Huamin sneered. Then he said gently, Miss Song, I think I need to remind you that when you and your sister lost the car race last time, other than paying the full amount of compensation, you also had to stay away from me, Huamin. Your cousin is better than you and has already fulfilled her promise. However, not only did you not avoid me, you even came to me? So, are you going to break your promise? Do you think that if I delete the video, you won't have any evidence to prove it? Of course I came to you for something. This isn't about the bet anymore. It's about your character and morals. Song Yishur was so angry that her face turned pale. Huamin raised his eyebrows. Oh, then tell me, how am I a person with a character and morals? Don't think that I don't know that you and Huasiqian are in cahoots. You two teamed up against me and set up such a huge trap for me to jump into. How despicable. I've never seen a woman as vicious as you. I'm sorry. I'm very busy every day and don't care whose bed you slept with. I don't have the time to plan all of this. But then again, Huasiqian slept with you and was willing to publicly acknowledge your relationship. He's giving you face. I thought you guys only went on a date. Song Yishur was about to explode when she heard Huamin's words. Woman, what are you talking about? I already said that nothing happened between us. You guys set me up? What does it have to do with me, whether you guys said anything or not? I'm not interested in your business. You're an interesting person. As soon as you do something, you come looking for trouble with me. Do you think I'm that easy to bully? Do you really think I'm that? Ms. Song, do you know that in ancient China, there's a four-word idiom called enough is enough? There's also a popular internet saying, if you don't ask for trouble, you won't die. If you really like someone, don't ask for trouble. Just live your life. Isn't that great? Huamin was no longer polite to Song Yishur. So what if her father was the mayor? Even if the mayor came to Huamin's office to pick a fight, she would still talk back, let alone the mayor's daughter. Otherwise, these people would really take advantage of her. Song Yishur pointed at Huamin and gritted her teeth. Huamin, do you know? You're so fucking annoying. I've never seen a woman who likes to show off as much as you do. Do you think that Qin Shu likes you, Su likes you, and the whole world likes you? Look at yourself. Why don't you take a look at yourself? Not only are you ugly, but you're also a poor commoner. You're so arrogant just because you're a doctor. What do you have to show off? You're just scheming, so you deceive those men. They all think that you're very innocent, but in fact, you're just a scheming bitch. You're just good at pretending. They were all deceived by your appearance. Chapter 1230. Let me interrupt you for a second. First of all, let me clarify that I've never been pure. Even if I'm a scheming bitch, I'm still the best of the bitches. I'm not like you, who doesn't understand bitches. I feel embarrassed for you when someone tore off your mask. You said that I don't have the right to show off, and that's true, but what about you? If you didn't have your father, who do you think you are? With that face of yours that looks like a celebrity's? There are so many people who look better than you. Even the waitresses at Seductive Fox are better than you. To put it bluntly, you should really thank your father. If it weren't for him, even if you went to Seductive Fox, you wouldn't be good looking. So, don't think too highly of yourself. It's okay to be shameless, but it's not good to be ignorant. Huami never lost in an argument. The question was whether she wanted to argue or not. Jiang Xiaowei and Zhu Lingling were both very good at talking, but in front of Huamin, they didn't dare to say that they were good at talking. Therefore, Song Yishe originally wanted to torture Huamin to vent her emotions. She didn't expect that Huamin would torture her until she was covered in bruises. Huamin's talent at cursing was that he didn't use any profanities and didn't mention the other party's parents. Just one sentence after another was enough to make you feel like you're going to die. Compared to Song Yishe, who kept talking about fucking things, Huamin was much more refined. Huamin, I'm telling you, even if I really marry Huasiqian, I won't give up on Qin Chu. As long as I, Song Yishe, am alive, I will never let you and Qin Chu live in peace. In the end, Song Yishe couldn't win against Huamin in an argument, so she said some harsh words. Huamin, on the other hand, looked calm as he replied faintly, "After hearing what you said, I really want the heavens to bless you with an early death. Otherwise, it won't do us any good if you're still alive." If Song Yishe had a heart attack, she would be foaming at the mouth because of Huamin. Anyone who played against Huamin had to be mentally strong. Therefore, at Song Yishe's level, she would be defeated within a few minutes. In the end, he was at a loss for words. "I won't argue with you. The one who laughs in the end is the winner. Anyway, let's wait and see. Please remember our bet in the future. If you see me in the future, please avoid me. Otherwise, I can restore the deleted video in minutes and release it to the public. You've been so popular recently, and you're on the news every day. I don't think this is a big deal. How dare you? Don't provoke me. I really do dare to do anything. There's nothing you can't imagine, and there's nothing I don't dare to do." Huamin chuckled. Song Yishe was so angry that she turned her head, slammed the door of the office, and left. "Chief, what's going on? Is she a patient looking for trouble?" Chenjia walked in worriedly. "Yeah, she's mentally ill. Don't worry about her." Huamin obviously didn't care about Song Yishe and wasn't angry that she came looking for trouble. Chenjia nodded, closed the door in relief, and continued to work. At noon, Huamin finished lunch, but it wasn't time yet. Therefore, she scrolled through her WeChat moments and Weibo. Recently, a lot of people were talking about Huasiqian and Song Yishe in her WeChat moments, but she was too lazy to say anything. Then, Huamin logged into Weibo and scrolled through it. Suddenly, she saw an unread private message a few minutes ago. She opened it and saw that the person who sent the message was Jian Tong. Huamin wasn't familiar with Jian Tong, but she knew who she was because she was now the #1 actress at Imperial Star. Her TV series and movies were so popular that they were almost as popular as Mo Schwerer. Rumors said that Jian Tong was having an affair with Lord Su, and that was why she was so popular. She was in the entertainment industry, but no director dared to sleep with her. "I'm so jealous of you." That was all she sent. Huamin froze and replied in confusion. "Sis, did you send it to the wrong person?" Chapter 12:31. "No, I just sent it to you," Jian Tong replied within seconds. "But do we have a grudge against each other?" Huamin felt like he had never spoken to Jian Tong before. The last time they met was in the hallway of Seductive Fox. She came out to look for Su Yu, and they had a brief encounter. Jian Tong was a superstar with tens of millions of fans, so she wouldn't suddenly come to Huamin and say something like this, right? She was different from bitches like Jiang Linyue and Song Yishe. Those women's target was Qin Chu, so they were jealous of him, but Jian Tong had nothing to do with Qin Chu. Could it be because of Su Yu? Huamin quickly analyzed the situation in his mind. Then he saw Jian Tong reply, "President Su is so pitiful. Ever since he founded Imperial Star, he's never been away for so long. But this time he's been away for so many days. But what does that have to do with me? I didn't ask him to go." Huamin truly felt wronged. "Okay, isn't it because of you? If you didn't force him, he wouldn't be so sad. Huamin, I beg you, if you don't like President Su, don't give him a chance. Don't torture him." "The truth is, I never gave him a chance," Huamin answered without hesitation. She felt like she was being very clear, and more than once, she expressed her feelings for Qin Chu to Su Yu. This time, when Su Yu left, She didn't send him off no matter how much Tang Chuan begged her. Later, Tang Chuan was so angry that he went to Wei Liao's house and scolded Huamin in front of Jiang Shaowei and Wei Liao. Jiang Shaowei was on Huamin's side, so she argued with him for a long time. In the end, the two of them were quite unhappy. This was all because of the matter between her and Su Yu. But in fact, Huamin felt that there was nothing between him and Su Yu, not even a little ambiguous. Therefore, Jiantong's accusation made her feel even more wronged than Dou. President Su. That guy looks like a playboy, but he's actually very loyal. Once he sets his mind on something, he'll do anything to chase after it, even if it's wrong. I feel bad for him, but there's nothing I can do to help him. I've been at Imperial Star for almost 5 years, but I can't compare to the 5 minutes you spent with him. I'm really jealous of you, but at the same time, I'm also envious of you. You have so many excellent men who like you. I have to admit that you're very capable and resourceful. Miss Jiantong, are you praising me? Are you praising me? Or are you praising me? Huamin was a little tired and didn't want to argue with another woman. She was too tired. If she had the time, she would rather soak in the hot springs with Mr. Qin and enjoy the snowy scenery. Jiantong didn't reply, but 3 minutes later, she sent Huamin a screenshot of her Weibo post. It was a post that Su Yu had just posted. Huamin didn't follow Su Yu on Weibo, so she didn't know what Su Yu was up to. She only saw it after Jiantong posted it. Su Yu posted this. I really like spending time with you. Sometimes, even though I feel very tired and infatuated like a fool, your occasional gentleness always gives me the illusion that you may have liked me a little bit at some point in time. So for this little bit, for the love that I don't know if it exists, I'm willing to wait for you for a very long time. So long that the world will grow old, because I realize that other than waiting for you, I have no other choice. Chapter 1232. These words really made one's heart ache, and it was very sad. Although Su Yu had a bad temper, he was a top student in the military academy and was cultured. Therefore, when he occasionally spoke in a scholarly manner, he really was an artistic youth. Huamin remained silent after reading the message. Jiantong then sent a photo of Su Yu. It seemed like someone had unintentionally taken it for him. He was wearing a military uniform and standing next to Lord Su. His skin was a little tanned, but his eyes were still firm. Huamin remained silent again. Jiantong then sent another message. Maybe you think that Qin Shu is the only one in the world, but I want to tell you that President Qin Shu is also the only one in the world that can't be replicated. Huamin remained silent for a few seconds before he typed. But I already have Qin Shu, so no matter how good other people are, they have nothing to do with me. So, you're really not going to give President Su any more chances? Huamin didn't reply to Jiantong because the answer to her question was obvious. Jiantong's question was meaningless. After a minute of silence, Huamin also posted something on Weibo. She said, if it's just friendship, then be good friends if you can. Don't be so greedy. Love is too extreme. It's either forever or forever. Huamin's words were obviously meant for Su Yu. She hoped that he would understand her feelings and let go. Su Yu did see it, and he felt very conflicted after reading it. He was greedy. He wanted Huamin's life, but this was such an extravagant thing to do. Young master, the chief wants to see you for dinner. His adjutant came over to remind him. Su Yu nodded, put away his phone, and quickly walked towards the military base. He thought that when he was away from home, he would be thousands of miles away from home. Would he feel better? Would he miss that girl? But Su Yu felt worse. Huamin's image kept appearing in his mind. Her angry face, her smiling face. Even when she was working seriously, she looked so cute. Every time he talked to Wei Liao, he would pretend to casually ask about Huamin. Wei Liao didn't seem to want to say too much, so he answered vaguely. This made Su Yu's heart itch. He wanted to go back as soon as possible, but this trip would take at least 20 days. And his grandfather wouldn't let him go back either. In the evening, when Huamin finished work, Qin Shu came on time. Ever since her car was repaired, Qin Shu became her full-time chauffeur. Hardworking Chu Huaxi also received compensation, paid Huamian girl, and Huamian bought or, with the amount of money in her bank account, she could buy a better and more high-end sports car. But she didn't. First of all, Huamin wasn't a high-profile person. She wouldn't drive a flashy sports car. Pink limited edition Lamborghini and Bugatti Veyron were not her cup of tea. She was only an Audi fan. Second of all, Huamin was too sentimental. This R8 was a gift from Qin Shu, and she always drove it. They were very close. She treated the car like a friend, so she didn't want to let it go. She would rather spend more money on repairs than get a new one. Huamin got into the car and took off her down jacket. "Honey, do you want to eat at home or outside? I'm fine with anything. I'll do whatever you want." Qin Shu smiled. Let me think. How about Ixion's ramen? Huamin rubbed her chin with her index finger and thought hard. Okay. Qin Shu nodded gently. Just then, a piece of news came out from the small TV in the car. The female news anchor spoke very quickly. The latest news is about the hottest topic these days, President Huasiqian and Mayor Song's daughter, Song Yishe. After Mr. Huasiqian's interview, Song Yishe just held a press conference. This is her first response to this matter. Let's go to the press conference and see what Miss Song Yishe has to say about this. Chapter 1233. Huamin stared intently at the TV screen. Qin Shu, on the other hand, wasn't interested in this. He focused on driving and looked straight ahead. On the TV, Song Yishe was holding a press conference in a white mink coat, a black miniskirt, and tall boots. Huamin saw a lot of reporters taking pictures. It was a huge scene. Song Yishe maintained her usual fake smile as she faced the media. "Okay, you can ask questions now. Come one by one. It's orderly," Song Yishe's assistant said to the reporters. Then, the reporters immediately surrounded her. "Miss Song Yishe, is the rumored photo real?" "Yes." Song Yishe nodded. "Then what's your relationship with the president of the Hua Corporation, Huasiqian?" Song Yishe moved her lips and continued to smile. "We used to be friends. Then President Hua expressed interest in me and pursued me for a while. That's when we started dating." After she said this, the crowd went into an uproar. No one expected her to admit it so quickly. "So, you and President Hua are lovers?" "Yes." "Then what do you think of the rumors that you and President Qin of GK have an ambiguous relationship?" Hearing a reporter mention Qin Shu, Huamin was very displeased. "Damn, my husband is being dragged into this." Qin Shu smiled, raised his right hand, and lovingly pinched Huamin's cheek. "President Qin and I have always been friends, just normal friends. Don't misunderstand. There's no ambiguous relationship between us. Plus, Lady Qin and I are friends. Those rumors are all false." Huamin sneered. This woman's face doesn't even blush when she lies. She's been through a lot. "Miss Song, there's a video of you, Miss Song Yishuan, and Lady Qin on the internet. Did some netizens say that your cars look like yours?" "I'm sorry, I have no idea what you're talking about. What racing? What Xian?" Song Yishe continued to play dumb. But in the video, before the reporter could finish his question, he was interrupted by the staff. "I'm sorry, friends from the media. Today, Miss Song's press conference is a response to her relationship with Mr. Hua. Please don't ask other irrelevant questions. Thank you. Miss Song, what is the mayor's opinion on your choice of President Hua? My family is more democratic. My parents respect my opinion. What I choose is what they like." After Song Yishe finished speaking, the audience began to applaud. "She's so good at acting. It's such a pity that Song Yishe didn't enter the entertainment industry. She's definitely an award-winning actress. She's so good at acting." Huamin sighed. Award-winning actresses also have to be virtuous and talented. Not just anyone can take that title. "Don't tarnish the title of award-winning actress," Qin Shu interrupted. Huamin put his arm around Qin Shu's shoulder and asked intimately, "Honey, Song Yishe was screaming about this morning. At the time, I felt like she really hated Huasiqian. Why did she suddenly hold a press conference and admit it? That's weird. I don't think she can clean up the mess. Hua Xiqian probably has more information on her, so she's afraid of exposing it. Qin Shu was smart and hit the nail on the head. You're right, honey. Your analysis makes sense. You're so smart. Huamin looked at Qin Shu with admiration. If I wasn't smart, how could I trick you into marrying me? Qin Shu laughed. Haha, great. So you admit that you tricked me into marrying you. Hurry up and give me a wedding gift. You married me, and I haven't officially given you a betrothal gift. I don't have a problem with the wedding gift, but can I criticize you a little? Qin Shu tilted his head and looked at Huamin with a serious expression. What? She looked at Qin Shu in confusion. She didn't know what she had done to deserve his criticism. Chapter 1234. Next time when we're in bed, can you improve your service? Qin Shu asked in all seriousness. Huamin, every time, I'm the one who works the hardest, and you're the one who's the hardest at the bottom. Qin Shu continued to complain. Huamin, every time we're having a little more fun, you'll beg for mercy and throw in the towel. Can you last a little longer next time? Cooperate with your husband, Qin Shu added. Huamin, oh right, I really like the bunny girl look you wore last time. Can you wear it for me next time? I think it'll make things more interesting between us. Qin Shu thought of this again. Huamin, also, you can moan louder. Our room is big and soundproof. No one can hear you. I really like hearing your voice. It's exciting. Huamin, Mr. Qin, you've said so much, but I just want to ask you one question. Go ahead. Do you want to fly into the sky and stand shoulder to shoulder with the sun? Huamin stared at him. Qin Shu, Huamin thought that Mr. Qin was going to fly into the sky. He complained so much at once. Just how dissatisfied was he with her? Although she was the one who begged for mercy first every time. That was because Mr. Qin had insane stamina, okay? Who could do it for an hour and still not be done? There was no end to it. How could those men who finished in 10 minutes live? Most importantly, every time her back would hurt and her legs would cramp, she would be listless at work the next day. Okay? I'm just giving you a suggestion, Mr. Qin replied proudly. This suggestion is a bit useless. It's the same whether you say it or not. I think you're just trying to be nice. Not only did you take advantage of me, but you're also picking on me. I haven't picked on you yet. If you're dissatisfied with me, you can tell me, and we can talk about it, Qin Shu suggested. All right. First, can you not take so long? Your battle prowess is too long. I can't handle it. Qin Shu was speechless. Also, you like to hear me moan in bed, and I like to hear you moan too. So next time when I'm a little louder, can you be a little louder too? After all, men and women are equal. You can't demand that of me alone. Qin Shu was speechless. You like me as a bunny girl? Okay, no problem. But can you make me Ultraman? Which style do I like more? It can also increase my interest. Qin Shu was speechless. Next time, just once is enough. Can you not do it 3 or 4 times a night? Although we are still young, the Yellow Emperor's Canon of Internal Medicine says that excessive indulgence is not good. Medically speaking, it is also very easy to become impotent. You should take it easy, okay? Qin Shu was speechless. Lastly, if you dare to tie me up again, I'll immediately separate from you. You can deal with it yourself. I'm not going to serve you anymore. Huamin was still angry when she thought about how Mr. Qin punished her last time. That was the highest level of physical and mental torture. Huamin was a strong-willed person, but Mr. Qin almost tortured her to the point of insanity. So, she really didn't want there to be a next time. After Qin Shu silently listened to her words, he helplessly looked at Huamin. Honey, can I take back what I just said? Just pretend I didn't say anything, okay? Ha ha. Huamin immediately laughed. Mr. Qin was too cute. Sometimes, he was as willful as child. As they chatted and laughed, they arrived at Ixion's ramen. When the owner saw the two of them, he immediately prepared 2 bowls of ramen. Just then, Huamin, who was sitting at the door, inadvertently looked up. Just then, she saw Hua Xiqian walking over. He was wearing a casual navy blue cotton jacket. He walked in and sat down at Huamin and Qin Shu's table. Excuse me, can I have a moment of your time? Hua Xiqian asked with a smile. Qin Shu and Huamin looked up and looked at Hua Xiqian in surprise. They didn't know why he suddenly came. Chapter 1235. Go ahead. Huamin nodded and looked at Hua Xiqian. He took out a red invitation from his bag and casually threw it on the table. In 7 days, Song Yisher and I will be getting married. You guys are welcome to the wedding. Huamin was speechless. Qin Shu was speechless. Why are you guys so surprised? Didn't you guys see her press conference? Hua Xiqian continued to smile. I saw her admit your relationship, but isn't it a little too rushed to have a wedding in 7 days? Huamin was a little surprised. What's so rushed about it? Money is the only thing in this world. Everything can be done in minutes. The wedding is a one-stop package. The wedding banquet is also a set meal. You just have to pay for it. It's going to be held at Shangri-La. Little Sister Mian, don't come empty-handed. Hua Xiqian looked at Huamin and smiled meaningfully. Am I such a disloyal person? Huamin was a little speechless. It wasn't her style to go to a wedding empty-handed. Back when Ning Ziyuan and Wu Xiaoxue got married, she spent 200 yuan on it. I'll be there on time, Qin Shu said faintly as he held onto the invitation. That's good. Then I won't delay your meal. See you later. After speaking, Hua Xiqian didn't stay any longer. He got up and walked out. That's so sudden. Hua Xiqian must be planning something. I have a feeling. After Hua Xiqian left, Qin Shu wasn't in the mood to eat. The faint feeling of uneasiness in his heart began to stir. It wasn't that he was overthinking, but Hua Xiqian's way of doing things was too strange. He didn't play by the rules at all. The more unpredictable he was, the more worried he was. What's wrong, honey? Huamin asked when he saw Qin Shu's worry. Anyway, we can't let our guard down for the time being. I have a feeling that something is going to happen. It can't be. Isn't it great that they're getting married? It just so happens that they're the same kind. Hua Xiqian likes to wear masks, and so does Song Yisher. It's best that they get married so that they won't harm others. I'm afraid the marriage is a conspiracy, Qin Shu said quietly. Whether it's a scheme or not, that's their business. It has nothing to do with us. Don't worry, hubby. Huamin gently placed his hand on Qin Shu's palm, trying to pacify him. However, Qin Shu's expression still looked very serious. Seeing that neither Qin Shu nor Huamin had eaten much, the two of them came out. It was the end of the school day. For second high, a boy and a girl in school uniforms passed by. Mimi, which university do you plan to go to? I haven't thought about it yet. There's still more than 6 months until the college entrance exam. What's the rush? Come to Jing City with me. My parents want me to go to Jing City so that we can study abroad together. Your family is rich. You can go to any country, but I can't, the girl said with a sense of inferiority. I'll ask my parents to arrange it for you. Let's go together. I don't want your mom to look down on me. The girl's eyes were sad as she pulled her hand back. The boy looked at the girl in a daze. His eyes were clear and filled with deep love. Love in high school was always the best. It wasn't as ignorant as it was in middle school, and it wasn't as greedy as it was in college. Therefore, Huamin was very grateful that he was able to meet Qin Shu in high school. The conversation between the boy and girl was very similar to when they were young. At that time, Huamin was also persuaded by Qin Shu to go to the United States after they graduated from high school. Later, that incident happened, and the two of them broke up. Qin Shu went abroad, and Huamin studied high school nursing. In the blink of an eye, 7 years had passed. Luckily, they could still find each other and the feelings they had in the past. Qin Shu put his arm around Hua Min's shoulder and seemed to be touched as well. If I could go back in time, I would kidnap you and bring you to the United States with me. Maybe if we went abroad back then, our kids would have grown up by now. After Qin Shu said this, the corners of his mouth unconsciously curled up. Whenever he thought about the beautiful life he had with Huamin, he felt very happy. If I could go back in time, maybe I would have fallen in love with another boy in middle school. You wouldn't even have a chance, Huamin said deliberately. Mr. Qin's face darkened when he heard this. Chapter 1236. Mrs. Cheen, other than me, who else would dare to want you? You're so fierce. You have such a high IQ. You're so arrogant. Cheen Shu still remembered the first time he saw a reporter interview Huang Min on TV. At that time, she had just finished her middle school exams. Because she was the top scorer, she received a lot of attention. At that time, Cheen Shu still remembered her ridiculously arrogant words and tissue. He especially liked to see Huang Min's arrogant look. To put it bluntly, it was all kinds of pretentious looks. For the 3 years of high school, Huang Min was always tearing people apart. She teared up with girls who were jealous of her studies, girls who liked Cheen Shu, and girls who slandered her behind her back. At that time, Huang Min was the outgoing type. She was flamboyant and high-profile. She and Zhu Lingling would be invincible if they worked together. He remembered that there was once a senior who brought 5 or 6 girls with her, and they were all holding wooden clubs. They surrounded Huang Min and Zhu Lingling in a narrow alley near the school. At that time, there were only 2 Huang Min and 6 or 7 of the other party. And with weapons, everyone thought that they would lose miserably. In the end, although Huang Min and Zhu Lingling were injured and beaten up badly, Zhu Lingling's arm was even dislocated, however. The senior who led the other party was basically beaten up by Huang Min. Because there were so many people and it was difficult to deal with, Huang Min simply grabbed the leader of the woman and beat her to death. No matter how many clubs fell on her body, she endured the pain and rode on the leader of the woman to beat her up. Later, Huang Min and Zhu Lingling were injured. The leader of the woman was almost disfigured by Huang Min. Her face was swollen like a steamed bun from then on. That group of people never looked for trouble with Huang Min again, because she was ruthless, the kind that didn't care about her life. Huang Min became famous in her first year of high school, and many boys came to see her. There were love letters, chocolates, flowers. There were even some boys who would put small gifts in her desk every day. But she had never accepted anyone. Until one day, Cheen Shu, who had been an iceberg for thousands of years, was carrying a backpack on one shoulder. He bumped into Huang Min at Xian's Ramen. He said, "Hey, I'll treat you to some noodles." Before Huang Min could say anything, then she heard Cheen Shu say again, "You have to date me." "Heh, I sold myself for a bowl of noodles. Am I worthless?" Huang Min sneered. Unexpectedly, Cheen Shu's next sentence was, "How about eating noodles for a lifetime?" A lifetime? Huang Min was a little surprised. In an era like high school, everyone's love was beautiful and ignorant. Very few people would think of a lifetime. "I dare, do you dare to eat it?" Cheen Shu asked provocatively. At the time, they were young. Huang Min was also agitated, so she said directly, "Then save up. Noodles for a lifetime cost a lot." Just like that, their relationship began in a fit of pique. At the time, Huang Min didn't know that Cheen Shu's family was so prominent. She had never been interested in her classmates' backgrounds. "What are you thinking about? You look so lost in thought." Cheen Shu smiled and asked. Only then did Huang Min come back to her senses. She smiled and said, "I was thinking about some things when we were in school. It's a little cold. Let's go home." Cheen Shu tightly hugged Huang Min's shoulder. He protected her in his arms. He shielded her from the bone-chilling wind. Just then, Huang Min's phone rang. "Mom?" "Okay, I got it. I'll be right back." "What's wrong?" Cheen Shu asked. "My mom said something went missing at home, so she wants me to go back and take a look." "Let's go." Then, Cheen Shu drove Huang Min directly to Sky Blessing Court. As soon as they entered, they saw Yang Meiyurong sitting in the living room dejectedly. She didn't look good. "Mom, what went missing at home?" Huang Min asked curiously. Chapter 1237. "Mian, my jewelry is gone." Yang Meiyurong looked like she was about to cry. "Jewelry?" Huang Min froze. From what he remembered, his mother did have a jewelry box. She had saved some gold jewelry a few years ago. Later on, she also bought some new rings and necklaces, but they didn't add up to a lot of money. His mother didn't have any big gold jewelry, only small jewelry. She liked to wear them when she went out. She usually put them in the drawer. "Isn't it always in the drawer?" Huang Min asked. "Yeah, But when your Auntie Wu called me this morning and asked me to go for a walk in the park, I found that it was gone. But the jewelry box was still there, and everything inside was gone. Mom, how many things were in there? Qin Chu asked. Yang Meirong thought for a moment and said slowly, actually, not a lot, including what Mian bought for me. There are 2 necklaces, 3 rings, 2 pairs of earrings, and a bracelet. That's all. Altogether, it should be around 20 to 30,000 yuan. It's not a lot, but it's all gone so suddenly. I don't feel good about it. Yang Meirong was in a bad mood. She sat there listlessly. Huomin walked over and sat down beside her. Mom, are you sure you just lost it today? Did you see it yesterday? I'm not sure, because I haven't worn it in a long time. I don't usually open the box to look. The last time I wore it was half a month ago when I went shopping with a few new friends in the neighborhood. It's been a long time. I just remembered it when I was about to wear it again today. This guy's good. It's all gone, Mom. Don't worry. Mian, and I will buy you another set. Qin Chu comforted his mother-in-law. Hey, you kids, I know you have good intentions, but it's not about the money right now. It's not about the money, nor is it about the money. It's about how everything disappeared out of nowhere. Did a thief come in? But it shouldn't be. I'll move here for a while, and the security here is pretty good. Jixin said that there are surveillance cameras at the door and outside every house. Plus, security guard are always on patrol 24 hours a day. It shouldn't be, Yang Meirong muttered to herself. Huomin thought for a moment. I don't think it's possible for a thief to sneak in, because a thief wouldn't just steal these things. Mom, you didn't lose your money, right? Yeah, it's really strange. I didn't lose the 20,000 yuan in my bag. Only the jewelry is missing. It's really strange. Could it be that you put it somewhere else and forgot about it? Our house is so big. We might be able to find it if we look around, Huomin added. Yang Meirong shook her head. That's impossible. I wouldn't put those things anywhere. I was afraid that I would forget them, so I put them in the jewelry box in the drawer. Seeing how certain his mother was, Huomin didn't say anything else. Then she looked around. Mom, where's Xiaoping? She's taking a shower upstairs. Just now, she said that her clothes were dirty and wanted to change. As soon as Yang Meirong finished speaking, Yang Xiaoping came downstairs. There were 2 rooms upstairs, the master bedroom and the guest bedroom. Yang Xiaoping had been living in the guest bedroom ever since she arrived, and the master bedroom was Jixin's room. Downstairs were also the master bedroom and the guest bedroom. Yang Meirong lived in the master bedroom, and Huomin slept in the guest bedroom downstairs sometimes. Yang Xiaoping had already changed her clothes. Huomin looked at her in surprise. He realized that although she hadn't been here for long, her taste in clothes had changed a lot. She was no longer wearing an old-fashioned shirt, long pants, and floral skirt. Now, she was wearing a lotus leaf sleeve dress. The dress wasn't very long, and most of her thighs were exposed. Her hair was no longer in 2 braids. Instead, her hair was loose, and it was very black and straight. She even put on makeup and looked very formal. Cousin brother-in-law, you guys are here. Yang Xiaoping smiled. Huomin nodded with a smile. Yeah, your auntie lost her jewelry and is in a bad mood. She asked us to come back and see what we can do. After speaking, Huomin carefully looked at Yang Xiaoping's face. Chapter 1238. Yang Meirong noticed Huomian's unnatural expression and said, Yeah, I was worried too. I even helped Annie search the entire house, but I couldn't find anything. It's weird. Before Huomin could say anything, Yang Meirong said, Xiaoping is such an honest child. She saw that I lost something, so she took me to her bedroom to avoid suspicion. Not only did she search through everything, but she also opened her bag and showed me her passbook and wallet. She was afraid that I would suspect her. Why would I suspect her? We're family. Who would do something like that? Obviously, Yang Meirong trusted her niece. After all, Huomian had already proven her innocence by showing her her belongings. Yang Xiaoping walked downstairs and sat down on the couch. Then, she handed an apple to Qin Chu. Brother-in-law, have an apple. No, thanks. Qin Chu's attitude was indifferent. Then, she took out an orange and handed it to Huomin. Cousin, I bought this for Annie. It's really sweet. Okay, thank you. Huamin didn't reject the orange. Instead, she picked it up and ate a piece. Then, Yang Xiaoping continued. Andy lost something, and it's quite awkward. I'm the only guest in the house, and no one usually comes here. So I'm definitely the prime suspect. In order to clear my name, I had no choice but to prove myself. Since the item wasn't with me, and I didn't have any more money in my bag or card, I didn't sell it for money. All right, I still have a bank card that's connected to my phone. I even showed Annie the bank balance on my phone. It's a little embarrassing, but the balance on that card is only 128 yuan. I've been here for so long, but I haven't looked for a job. I'm so embarrassed. Huamin looked at Yang Xiaoping in surprise. Xiaoping, you've changed a lot since you came. Huh? Really? Yang Xiaoping didn't know what Huamin meant, so she looked a little uncomfortable. Yeah, not only did you change your taste in clothes, but you also changed the way you talk. Also, you're a fast learner. You even have an advanced mobile banking app. You're pretty smart. Haha, that's nothing. I'm young and eager to learn, so I bought a lot of books to read. People say that people in the city are more cultured, so I just want to be a cultured person. Huamin was truly surprised by Yang Xiaoping's recent change. She looked at Yang Xiaoping's clothes. They weren't expensive, just the kind that could be bought online for a few hundred yuan. She didn't even know the brand of shoes she wore. Yang Xiaoping herself, indeed, she's dispel everyone's suspicions, but she couldn't have lost by herself. If a thief didn't come, someone would have taken her something. She knew. Hers. She knew where she left her stuff was, so she. No wonder his mother couldn't figure out and came to Huamin. Huamin smiled as he looked at Yang Xiaoping. You're right. It's a good thing that you become more cultured. Okay, let's not talk about the lost stuff. It doesn't cost much anyway. I'll buy it for you later. Mom, Qin Shu and I both want to eat your beef patties. Do you have any beef at home? Oh, yes. There's more in the fridge. I'll go make it now. Then, Yang Mirong got up and went to make the patties. Life was relatively peaceful now. Other than Jixin, Yang Meirong only cared about Huamin and Qin Shu. Therefore, no matter what they wanted to eat, Yang Meirong would immediately make it for them. She didn't think it was troublesome at all. After Yang Meirong left, Huamin deliberately said to Qin Shu, Honey, you bought this house. Did you install surveillance cameras in the hallway? Can you check the surveillance cameras and see who else went into my mom's room besides her? Before Qin Shu could say anything, Yang Xiaoping immediately interrupted. Huh? Didn't Annie say that there are only surveillance cameras outside the house, but not inside? After all, it's not convenient for private matters to be exposed. Chapter 1239. Oh, look at my brain, I forgot about it. Indeed, I wanted to pretend, but then I thought that there were no outsiders in the house, so there was no point in pretending. You have a good memory, Xiaoping. You even remember this, Huamin said to Yang Xiaoping meaningfully. Yang Xiaoping realized that she had said something wrong, so she said awkwardly, I only heard Annie mention it once. After all, I don't wear much when I'm indoors, so I don't really mind. Cousin Qin, why don't you sit down with my brother-in-law? I'll go help Annie in the kitchen. Then, Yang Xiaoping got up and walked into the kitchen. The truth was, she didn't dare to face Huamin. Huamin was too smart and meticulous. What if she said too much and exposed herself? So, she made up an excuse and left. Only Qin Shu and Huamin were left in the living room. Honey, what do you think? Huamin looked at Qin Shu with a smile on his face. Do you really need to ask me? Didn't a detective like you already know what happened? You even asked me about the surveillance cameras just now, so that the culprit would give herself away. Qin Shu crossed his arms. He already knew what was going on. He also knew that his wife had purposely baited the culprit. It wasn't that they were narrow-minded and suspicious of Yang Xiaoping. However, logically speaking, the culprit had lost something in their house. Other than their mother and Yang Xiaoping, there was no one else. The last time they saw the jewelry was half a month ago. In that half a month, other than Huamin, no other guest came to their house. Huamin couldn't have stolen it, and neither could Yang Meirong. Therefore, Yang Xiaoping was the prime suspect. Yang Xiaoping wasn't stupid. She knew to immediately clear her name and take her auntie to her room to search for the jewelry. This was also the most brilliant part of her plan. Huamin used to think that Yang Xiaoping was just a village girl with bad intentions, but now he realized that she was actually quite smart. Hubby, didn't that person say that he showed you his wallet and bank cards? There's no dirt, and there's no dirt. The money from selling it is all on me. That's simple. Who would be stupid enough to steal it and keep it on themselves? Even if they sold it, it's not easy to get the money back. Either she has already spent the stolen money, or she used the stolen money to buy something valuable, but hasn't been discovered. Qin Chu analyzed with certainty. He then asked, if you look at the surveillance camera outside the door, you should find that she's been going out more than usual recently. Huamin nodded in agreement with Qin Chu. Not long after, the two of them were finally done with their work in the kitchen. Yang Meiyerong walked in with a steaming hot beef patty. Yang Xiaoping was holding a bowl of tomato egg soup. It would take too long to cook. I was afraid you guys would be hungry, so I made some soup. Eat it while it's hot, Yang Meiyerong said lovingly. Thank you, Mom. Qin Chu was touched by his mother-in-law's concern for him, and Huamian. Don't mention it. You're my kids. I can't do anything else other than make you some food. Just then, Yang Xiaoping filled a bowl with soup and handed it to Qin Chu. Brother-in-law, have some soup. Qin Chu didn't take it, but Huamin took the bowl from Yang Xiaoping and placed it in front of Qin Chu. Yang Xiaoping then filled a bowl with soup and handed it to Huamin. She was quite enthusiastic about it. Xiaoping, this ring looks nice. Did you buy it recently? When Huamin lowered his head to take the bowl of soup, he suddenly saw a diamond ring on Yang Xiaoping's finger. It wasn't very big and wasn't very obvious. Yang Xiaoping's expression immediately changed. Then, she smiled awkwardly and said, It's not real. I bought it from a street vendor. It cost 5 yuan. Oh, it's really nice. The craftsmanship, it looks so real. Yang Xiaoping felt even more uncomfortable upon hearing this. Before she could say anything, Huamin continued to ask, Xiaoping, have you been going out a lot lately? Do you have any friends here? Chapter 1240. No, I don't go out that often. Yang Xiaoping was a little flustered, as if she wanted to hide something. Huamin raised an eyebrow. Oh, really? I accidentally watched the surveillance footage on my phone and saw that you've been going out early and coming home late. I thought you had a boyfriend. No, that's just... I sometimes go out to buy groceries in the morning, and then I go shopping during the day. Yang Xiaoping denied vehemently. She didn't want to admit that she went out early and came home late. Huamin didn't actually watch the surveillance footage. He just casually mentioned it to see her reaction. However, she really couldn't sit still. Yang Xiaoping wasn't mature enough, so she panicked at the slightest provocation. Oh, it's okay. Don't be nervous. I was just asking. Huamin smiled. The truth was, she and Qin Chu both ate at Alexeine's ramen, so they weren't that hungry. She asked her mother to make beef patties so she could talk to Yang Xiaoping alone. After a quick bite, Huamin and Qin Chu got up to leave. Mom, don't worry about the food. We'll buy more if it's gone. Don't get mad over something so trivial. It's not worth it. Huamin held on to his mother's hand and comforted her. Yeah, it's okay. It's okay if it's gone. It doesn't matter if I bring it or not. Don't spend money on it for me. I don't really like these things. I know. Huamin smiled. As she walked out, she turned her head and glanced at Yang Xiaoping. Xiaoping, come with me for a second. Oh, okay. Yang Xiaoping froze for a second, then followed Huamin out with a confused look on her face. Honey, I just remembered that Ji Xin wants me to mail something to him. Go to his room with Mom and pack it up. I'll mail it to him tomorrow, okay? Qin Chu understood what Huamin was thinking. Without saying anything, he turned around and followed his mother-in-law into Ji Xin's room. After Huamin walked out with Yang Xiaoping, he opened the door to his Maybach with the remote. Huamin sat in the back seat and patted the seat next to him. It's cold outside. Let's talk in the car. Okay. Yang Xiaoping nodded and followed Huamin into the back seat of his Maybach. Xiaoping, what do you think of my mom? Huamian asked gently. Auntie, what about me? How do I treat you? My cousin treats me very well, too. We're like family. Yang Xiaoping was scared of Huo Mian, so she was a little reserved and didn't look very natural. Since she was so nice to you, why did you have the heart to steal my mother's jewelry? What Ti Yang's? T.S. Xiao. When she saw Huo Min's expression, she thought that he wouldn't pursue the matter. His family was so rich that he wouldn't be surprised if a piece of jewelry worth 20 or 30,000 yuan was stolen. That was why Yang Xiaoping chose to steal the jewelry instead of the money. Yang Xiaoping thought that since Yang Meiyerong didn't look at the jewelry often, she wouldn't find out that it was stolen until a long time later. How could there still be money? Without evidence, no one would dare to accuse her of stealing the jewelry. Yang Xiaoping didn't expect Huo Min to be so sure that she stole the jewelry. Previously, she thought that at most they would be suspicious. She reckoned that no one would dare to ask her directly. Cousin, sis, are you kidding me? Yang Xiaoping smiled awkwardly. No, I'm serious. Huo Min looked in her eyes quietly. Cousin, I really don't know what you're talking about. Yang Xiaoping pretended to be calm and played dumb. Chapter 1241. The jewelry has always been at home. Mom, and you're the only other family member at home. Who else could it be? Cousin, you can't accuse me like that. I even showed Annie my room to prove my innocence, Yang Xiaoping argued. What's the point of seeing it now? My mom hasn't opened the jewelry box in half a month. She doesn't even know when it went missing. You took care of it a long time ago, so of course you can prove your innocence. Cousin, you people in the city don't have any evidence, so you just casually accuse people? I may be poor, but I can't let you accuse me like that. Stealing is not a small crime. Exactly. You knew it was a big crime, yet you didn't steal it. That shows how brave you are. Cousin, I told you that you can't accuse me of stealing if you don't have evidence. You're framing me. Yang Xiaoping was adamant that Huo Min didn't have evidence. Huo Min smiled helplessly. Then he lifted Yang Xiaoping's hand and looked at the diamond ring. This ring, how much did you say it cost? 5 yuan. Yang Xiaoping felt a little guilty, so her voice became quieter. 5 yuan. It's beautiful. Give it to me. After speaking, Huo Min took the ring off Yang Xiaoping's finger. Seeing Huo Min take off her ring, Yang Xiaoping became anxious and violently snatched it back. Then, she tightly gripped it in her hand. Why are you so nervous? It's just a 5 yuan ring. Do you really have to be so nervous? Huo Min sneered. Cousin, you're so rich. I'm sure you don't care about such a small thing. Plus, this ring is fake. It's beneath your dignity to wear it. Give it to me. Yang Xiaoping didn't dare to look Huo Min in the eye. However, it was obvious that her lie was about to be exposed. Xiaoping, you know that my husband's company is very powerful, right? You've heard of GK, right? Yes. Yang Xiaoping didn't understand why Huo Min would ask her such a question that had nothing to do with this matter. GK has an important department that deals with jewelry. Right now, GK has acquired 90% of the jewelry stores in the city. You probably bought this ring from one of their stores. Judging by the size of the diamond, it's probably worth around 20,000 yuan. If you used the rings that my mom lost, you wouldn't have to pay a single cent. Cousin, I don't understand what you mean. What exchange? I don't understand. Yang Xiaoping continued to be stubborn. Don't worry about it. I remember my mom's stuff. When you went shopping, you took so many things with you. I'm sure every store would remember it. We don't have surveillance cameras at home, but every jewelry store has them. That's not a big problem. I'll ask my husband to make some arrangements, and we'll find out which store it is immediately. Upon hearing Huo Min's words, Yang Xiaoping was dumbfounded. She always thought that her plan was foolproof, but she didn't expect that the jewelry stores she went to were all owned by GK. If they checked the surveillance cameras, they would be able to find her immediately. She thought that she was well hidden, but it was so easy for Huo Min to find out. Cousin, Yang Xiaoping didn't know what to say. Her mind was in a mess. If you stole something, it's a lot of money. If you're sentenced, you'll be sentenced to 5 to 10 years in prison. Huo Min played with his fingers as he talked to himself. He sounded very relaxed. However, Yang Xiaoping's face gradually turned pale. Finally, after hearing Huomin's words, Yang Xiaoping knelt down in the car. Chapter 1242. Luckily, the Maybach was big enough. She knelt down in front of Huomin. Cousin, I was wrong. I did steal it. Why did you do that? Huomin looked at her coldly. I was just confused. Annie doesn't wear a lot of jewelry, so I thought it would be better if she gave me a ring instead. Haha. So you're saying that you can take anything you want as long as it's not being used. It was the first time Huomian saw herself being able to find an excuse for herself when she was stealing. No, I was confused. Cousin, I'm sorry, I know I was wrong. Please don't call the police, okay? I don't want to go to jail. I'm still young. I can't ruin my future like this. My mom will be so sad if she found out. She brought a wolf into her house. Huomin looked at Yang Xiaoping in disappointment. Yang Xiaoping was her mother's niece. How could she do something so outrageous? Huomin, please don't tell Auntie. She'll be sad. She's always been so nice to me. I don't want her to be disappointed. Then what were you thinking when you did all this? I was really obsessed. Maybe I was scared of being poor. I grew up in the mountains and never saw anything good. Ever since I came to the city, I've seen you guys live well, eat well, wear good clothes, and use good things. I'm so jealous. Cousin, your handbag costs hundreds of thousands of yuan. I can't earn that much in my lifetime. You can't take anything for granted. If you want something, you have to put in the same amount of effort. You can't just reap what you sow. There's no such thing as a free lunch. You see me living a luxurious life now, but do you know how many times I've been on the brink of death? Do you know what I've been through? Yang Xiaoping lowered her head and didn't say anything. Being poor isn't an excuse. Stealing is a matter of character. I know, cousin, I know I was wrong. I won't do it again. Please don't arrest me, okay? Yang Xiaoping grabbed Huomin's arm and begged for mercy. It was obvious that she was scared. If you knew this would happen, why did you do it in the first place? Huomian didn't feel sorry for Yang Xiaoping at all. If it weren't for the fact that he had the confidence to make her admit her mistake, she would still think that his methods were brilliant and stubborn. That little trick of hers was really full of loopholes. Huomin could solve the case at any time, but he didn't reveal it in front of his mother. It wasn't because he cared about Yang Xiaoping's reputation. However, her mother's blood pressure was high and her heart wasn't very good. If she knew that it was done by the niece she had always liked, she wouldn't have known. He definitely couldn't take it. Get up. I won't call the police. Really? Yang Xiaoping was overjoyed. Then, she immediately got up and subconsciously wiped the dust off her knees. It was as if he was already fine, but Huomin had something else to say. Her hand paused slightly. She raised her head to look at Huomin's face and continued to listen to her. But I have two requests that you must fulfill. Tell me, as long as you don't make me go to jail, I'll do it. Yang Xiaoping was scared out of her wits. Number one, take this ring back and return all the things that you stole from my mother. Put them back quietly. If she asks, just tell her where you found them. She'll believe you. Okay. Although Yang Xiaoping didn't like the diamond ring on her finger, she was more afraid that Huomin would call the police. So, she still agreed. Second, after you do this, you have to find an excuse to leave our house. I don't care if you go back to your hometown or somewhere else, but we won't let you stay here. You have to leave. Cousin, I know what I did was wrong. Can you give me a chance? It was obvious that Yang Xiaoping didn't want to leave. She had food and a place to live. She didn't have to do any work, and she was paid more than 3,000 yuan a month. How could Yang Xiaoping leave? Her life was almost as good as that of a rich heiress, and it suited her lazy personality perfectly. Chapter 1243. I did give you a chance. The truth is, Xiaoping, Huomin, am not someone who doesn't recognize her family. You might think that I've always been cold to you because I look down on you, because I'm rich and look down on the poor, but that's not the case. My attitude toward you is completely dependent on your attitude toward me and my family. While you've been in my house, I know what you've been thinking about, Qinshu. Sister Huomin, I didn't You don't have to explain. I know what you're thinking. I just want to say that sometimes people need to know their place. Don't think about things that don't belong to you. That way, you won't be tired of living. If you truly loved me, I wouldn't treat you like this. So think about it. I'm only giving you 3 days. In 3 days, I want to see my mom's jewelry returned to its rightful owner. After 3 days, I don't want you to appear in my house again. Then, Huamin pressed the remote and opened the car door. Yang Xiaoping had no choice but to turn around and get out of the car. It seemed like no matter how much she said, Huamin's heart would soften and give her another chance. Yang Xiaoping gritted her teeth, unwilling to give up. Then, she walked into the house. After she walked in, Qin Shu happened to walk out of Jixin's room and was about to leave. When they walked past each other, Yang Xiaoping stared at Qin Shu's flawless face with infatuation. Why couldn't such an outstanding man be hers? Qin Shu didn't even look at her the entire time. Instead, he ignored her and walked out. Inside the car, Qin Shu sat in the driver's seat, and Huamin moved from the back seat to the passenger seat. Did you get the stuff? Yeah, what about you? Did you tell her everything? Qin Shu tilted his head and looked at Huamin. Yeah, I did. She doesn't seem to want to leave my house. This kind of person can't be left alive. He'll be a disaster in the future, Qin Shu said. But even if she leaves, she might not be able to return home. I don't think she'll leave Sea City. She's gotten used to the luxurious lifestyle and can't go back to the countryside. Huamin guessed. That's not something we should be concerned about. She doesn't know how to be content with what she has. Instead, she steals things. That's a bad habit. Even if she says she'll change, she might not. Anyway, it's better for us to stay as far away from her as possible. Okay. Huamin nodded. The end of the year always passed quickly. A week passed in the blink of an eye. Hua Xiqian's wedding became the biggest news in the city on Sunday. Many media outlets were broadcasting live from all over the city. The scene was huge, and there were many guests present. Inside the hotel, Huamin and Qin Shu, one in a black suit and the other in a black dress, were a perfect match. As soon as the two of them entered the venue, they were surrounded by the media and took photos of them for a long time. After entering, Huamin heard someone calling out to him. He turned around and saw Jiang Xiaowei and Wei Liao. Oh, our pregnant woman is here too. Huamin laughed. Come on, her belly isn't that obvious, okay? Huamin and Jiang Xiaowei chatted happily on the side. Qin Shu and Wei Liao also chatted casually. When the ceremony started, everyone sat down. How should he put it? Although the wedding was luxurious, it didn't feel new at all. Everything was done according to the routine. Although they spent a lot of money, it lacked sincerity. It was a far cry from Jiang Xiaowei and Wei Liao's wedding on January 1st. Song Yisher wore a white mermaid wedding dress. She had exquisite makeup on and an elegant smile on her face. She was such a person. Even if the man she married wasn't the one she liked, she would still put on an act. Mian, do you know what I admire the most about Bitch Song? Jiang Xiaowei asked enthusiastically. Chapter 1244. What do you mean? Huamin looked at Xiaowei, amused. Yeah, she knows how to put on an act no matter what the situation is. She's so good at this, none of US can compare to her. Her acting skills, TSK, when she's supposed to cry, when she's supposed to cry, when she's supposed to smile, her face is glowing. I bet she thinks she's in the movie. Her acting is so good, I almost believe that she and Hua Xiqian really have feelings for each other. Ha! Jiang Xiaowei's insightful comment made not only Huamin, but also Wei Liao laugh. What are you laughing at? You guys? Am I wrong? Jiang Xiaowei was confused. Yes, you're absolutely right, Dr. Jiang. Can we stop commenting? Can't we just quietly watch the wedding? Wei Liao hugged his beloved wife helplessly. The priest on stage asked the vows very sincerely. Handsome groom, Mr. Hua Xiqian, do you take the beautiful and gentle Song Yisher as your wife, for richer or for poorer, in sickness and in health, to be by her side for the rest of your life? Hua Xiqian took a deep breath and looked at Song Yisher with a playful smile on his face. After a while, he said, I do. His expression was obviously disdainful. Beautiful and gentle bride. Miss Song Yisher, do you take the handsome Huasi Qian as your wife, for richer or for poorer, in sickness and in health, to be by her side for the rest of your life? At this moment, Song Yisher actually turned her head and looked down the stage. Her gaze fell on Qin Shu. Huamin provocatively leaned his head on Song Yisher's shoulder and smiled sweetly at her. She immediately looked away, and her face turned cold. Then she said perfunctorily, I do. Okay, then let's exchange rings. The rest of the ceremony was just a formality. It was obvious that they hadn't paid much attention to these two events. Huamin had seen many weddings, including Lu Xiying's. There had never been a wedding that was so awkward. There was no sweetness or touching at all. During the banquet, the two newlyweds began toasting. When it came to Huamin's table, Song Yisher directly ignored Huamin. He held his wine glass and looked at Qin Shu. Qin Shu, I'm married. Are you happy for me? Her tone was full of resentment. Qin Shu picked up his wine glass, glanced at Huasi Qian, and said in an extremely formal manner, Congratulations on your marriage. Thank you. Huasi Qian smiled. Then he walked up to Huamin and teased, My little sister, Huamin, you're so beautiful today. Compared to your bride, I still pale in comparison. Huamin smiled. Girl, how much did you give me as a wedding gift? Huasi Qian's straightforwardness almost made Huamin vomit blood. You're too direct, aren't you? You're a tycoon. Why would you care about this little bit of money? Huamin felt awkward. You're my favorite little sister. How can I not give you a little more? Okay, don't worry, I won't skimp on you. Huamin was speechless. Huasi Qian looked at Huamin with a gentle gaze. He looked at Huamin from head to toe. No matter what she wore, even if it was a naive school uniform, he would still think that it was perfect. Congratulations. Huamin raised his glass and looked at Huasi Qian and Song Yisher. Song Yisher ignored him and turned around to leave. She went straight to the next table. It was obvious how much she hated Huamin. Ugh, your new wife is a bit hot-tempered. Huamin smiled helplessly. It's okay. No matter how hot-tempered she is, she'll be obedient in my hands. After Huasi Qian said this, he left the table. These two look weird. Not only do they have no feelings for each other, but they also look at each other as if they're enemies. I'm worried that tonight's wedding night will be very tragic, Jiang Xiaowei analyzed. That's not something we should worry about. Huamin smiled. He thought it was a joke, but who would have thought? Evening, inside Huasi Qian's private mansion. As the wedding night, the decorations were quite luxurious. Song Yisher was sitting on the bed in a red cheongsam. She seemed to be in a bad mood. Huasi Qian pushed open the door, took off his tie, and walked towards her. Song Yisher stood up vigilantly and looked at him coldly. What do you want? Chapter 1245. Don't you know what I'm trying to do? Huasi Qian inched closer and closer to her. Song Yisher was so scared that she took a few steps back. In the end, her entire body leaned against the wall. Then Huasi Qian leaned his arm against the wall. He did a classic cabotin. Song Yisher was so scared that her face turned pale. I'm telling you, don't do anything stupid. What a joke. We're married. We're husband and wife. What do you mean by do something stupid? Huasi Qian sneered. But we don't have feelings for each other. I was just set up by you. I'm telling you, after we get married, we'll go our separate ways. Otherwise, I'll tell my dad what you did. At this critical moment, Song Yisher brought up her dad. Huasi Qian narrowed his eyes and smiled faintly. Your dad? You think I'm scared? Do you think your dad is Jesus, that the whole world respects him? You? Song Yisher was so angry that she didn't know what to say to Huasi Qian's rude words. Huasi Qian raised his finger and gently played with Song Yisher's red shoulder strap. Tiske, your face is not bad and your body is sexy, but it's a pity. Huasi Qian paused. What's a pity? Song Yisher was confused. It's a pity that a disgusting soul lives under this beautiful body. After hearing Huasi Qian's comments, Song Yisher's expression turned ugly. He was the first man who dared to say such things to her. He made her sound like a useless person. If that's the case, Why did you marry me? Song Yishur was furious. Do you think I wanted to? To tell you the truth, today was the worst day of my life. I've never been so depressed. Luckily, the day passed quickly. Do you think I'll touch you? In your dreams. I'm telling you, while we're still husband and wife, you better be prepared to live like a widow. Don't cause any trouble, or else, not only will I ruin your reputation, your father will too. After saying that, Huasiqian retracted his hand and wiped it with a wet towel. It was as if touching her would make her dirty. Song Yishur couldn't take this kind of naked humiliation anymore. She had never been wronged like this in her entire life. When Huasiqian turned around, she dashed forward like a madwoman. Huasiqian, you beast! I'll kill you! She pounced on Huasiqian and tried to scratch his face. Helplessly, Huasiqian moved a step faster and gripped her neck tightly. He pinned her against the wall. Song Yishur, don't test my patience, Huasiqian. What right do you have to treat me like this? Who do you think you are? You're just a dog raised by someone else. Why are you so arrogant? Song Yishur was furious, so she didn't choose her words carefully. This sentence completely angered Huasiqian's sensitive nerves. There were two things he hated the most in his life. First, people called him an adopted son and a dog in front of him. Second, people slandered Huamin in front of him. This woman, Song Yishur, always went against Huamin. Now, on their wedding night, she shamelessly called her husband a dog. She was really digging her own grave. Huasiqian quickly pulled out the belt from his waist. With a smack, he whipped Song Yishur's body. Instantly, a burning pain spread all over her body. Song Yishur looked at Huasiqian in disbelief. Huasiqian, how dare you hit me? Song Yishur's eyes widened in disbelief. Chapter 1246. As soon as he finished speaking, he viciously whipped her with his belt. Song Yishur finally realized what was going on and tried to dodge. But it was too late. Finally, red marks appeared on her shoulders and legs. I've never hit a woman, but you're an exception. Huasiqian finished speaking. Another whip of the belt came up. Song Yishur finally woke up from her daze and screamed. Not many women were beaten by their husbands on their wedding night, and Song Yishur was definitely one of the few. She thought that with her status as the daughter of the Song family, she could do whatever she wanted in the whole family. She didn't even think of Huasiqian as a threat, but to her surprise, Huasiqian, I'm going to tell my dad. I'm going to file for a divorce because of your perverted behavior. Come on, make the call now. Call your father immediately. Huasiqian held his belt in one hand and threw his phone on the bed with the other. Song Yishur looked at him suspiciously. She slowly picked up her phone. If she called her dad, then all the pain would end, right? The moment she picked up her phone, she heard Huasiqian's voice from the phone. 5 months ago, GK's land was supposed to be auctioned internally, but your dad decided to give it to GK, breaking the rules of the game. Qinshu was also very generous and gave her dad a set of top-grade Hainan rosewood carvings. It's worth a fortune and is estimated to be over 100 million yuan. 4 months ago, the person in charge of Chengwang Technology illegally manipulated the stock market. He was supposed to be arrested as a criminal, but your dad gave him special permission to go abroad for treatment, so we missed the best opportunity to arrest him. I heard that a week later, you added 3 new mansions to your name in Italy. 3 months ago, Wang Dehai, the president of the Provincial Chamber of Commerce, was investigated for bribery. Thanks to your dad's connections, he was let off the hook. Then, a painting by a master of Chinese painting appeared on the wall of your living room. It's estimated to be worth over 80 million yuan. 2 months ago, upon hearing this, Song Yishur couldn't hold back anymore. Huasiqian, what are you trying to say? It's simple. I have all the dirt on every member of the Song family, your father, your uncle, and even you and Song Yishuan. If you really want your father to fall out with me, then you can call him and ask him to come and pick you up. We can also go through legal procedures to get a divorce, but if you do this, then I don't have to worry about anything. I could just expose all the dirty deeds your father has done over the years. Let's see if your father can still hold onto the mayor's seat then. Let's see if you're still the high and mighty Song family's eldest daughter. Hua Xiqian, you're lying to me. You don't have any evidence. You're just trying to scare me. It's up to you whether you believe me or not. Anyway, I've already said what I wanted to say. Hua Xiqian turned around and carefully put his belt back on his pants. It was as if everything that had just happened was just a joke. His perverted personality was an eye-opener for Song Yishe. It also made her afraid from the bottom of her heart. This man was simply a devil. Song Yishe held onto her phone, feeling very conflicted. All these years, it was impossible to say that her father had been an honest and upright official with no record of corruption. All these years, she had spent tens of millions of yuan in Italy alone. How did a mayor with a salary manage to do that? Therefore, Hua Xiqian's dirt hit the Song family's lifeline. In the end, Song Yishe didn't dare to call. Hua Xiqian couldn't be bothered with her. He opened the door and left. Then, he got into a sports car and sped away. Inside the huge mansion, Song Yishe wanted to cry, but had no tears. She still didn't understand how a pervert like Hua Xiqian had his eyes on her. Wasn't she fighting with Huamin? How did Hua Xiqian set her up for no reason? At a certain nightclub, as soon as Hua Xiqian appeared, many beautiful women surrounded him. Hua Xiao, isn't today a big day? Why are you out here? Is the bride not good enough? A few young models surrounded Hua Xiqian and began to talk dirty. Hua Xiqian smiled and was about to speak when he suddenly saw a familiar-looking woman among them. You, what's your name? Hua Xiqian pointed at one of the inconspicuous women. Chapter 1247. Hua Xiao is asking for your name. My name is Wang Shasha. The girl didn't expect to be the center of attention. Wang Shasha, you're so old-fashioned. Hua Xiqian was speechless. Why was he so interested in her? This was because the girl's eyebrows resembled Huamian's, of course. It was just a little bit. Their facial features weren't similar, but the way they looked down was similar. That was why he was able to spot her among all the other women. You come sit here. Hua Xiqian patted the seat next to him. The girl was still in a daze. Shasha, Hua Xiao is calling for you. Hurry up and go over. A few girls were jealous and pushed her. They pushed the girl in front of Hua Xiqian. One of the girls said, Hua Xiao, she just got here yesterday. She's a little dumb and not smart enough. If she doesn't do anything right, please don't mind her. Hua Xiqian didn't say anything. However, he put an arm around the girl's shoulder and appeared very intimate. Can you drink? A little. The girl was a little shy. Here, cheers. Hua Xiqian picked up his glass. The girl frowned, gritted her teeth, and drank it all in one gulp. Then the girls around them began to clap and cheer. Hua Xiqian took out a ton of cash from his bag and scattered it around him. Thank you, everyone. The girls immediately grabbed it all without any shame. Hua Xiqian gestured to the girl with his finger. Come with me. The girl was a little dumbfounded. Are you dumb? Hua Xiao asked you to come out. Hurry up and go. A few girls pushed the girl and pushed her to Hua Xiqian's side. Then, she carefully followed behind Hua Xiqian and got into the Rolls-Royce Phantom. Then, they arrived at Hua Xiqian's other private mansion. It was more than 200 square meters of luxurious furniture. After Wang Shasha showered, she walked out nervously. He wondered if he was lucky or unlucky to be called out by a big shot as soon as he arrived at this place. She didn't know anything about Hua Xiao's background and didn't understand his emotions at all. But when she was ready to lay on the bed and face death with equanimity, Hua Xiqian gently hugged her from behind. Then he whispered in her ear, Let's sleep, Mian. Mian? Who is Hua Mian? This was what she wanted to ask, but she didn't say it out loud. She did not dare to make a sound and spent the night with this man in fear and trepidation. Miraculously, nothing actually happened. The next morning when Wang Shasha got up, she could no longer see Hua Xiqian's shadow. However, there was a check for 100,000 yuan left on the table. 100,000 yuan was not a lot. In the nightclub where she worked, many of the girls sold their virginity for 300,000, 500,000, or even 1 million yuan. But the problem was that he didn't touch her last night. Nothing happened between them. Did he just get 100,000 so easily? Wang Shasha was in disbelief. However, she still carefully put the check in her bag and left nervously. Southside Recuperation Center. Huamin came to work early in the morning because there was a quarterly meeting at 7 a.m. and President Wu would be there. Therefore, as soon as she entered the office, she turned around and was about to change into her white lab coat. The office door was pushed open and gave her a fright. "What are you doing here so early in the morning?" When Huamin saw Hua Xiqian, who was dressed very casually, walk in with a few food boxes in his hands, she was truly surprised. Didn't this guy just get married yesterday? But it was only 6:30 a.m. What was he doing at Southside? Chapter 1248. I'm eating breakfast. Before Huamin could say anything, Hua Xiqian took out the breakfast from the lunchbox. There was crab porridge, steamed dumplings, and all sorts of side dishes. It was extremely exquisite. Although Huamin had already eaten breakfast at home, he still couldn't help but drool when he saw all this. But why did you come to my office for breakfast? I just happened to come to the Hua Foundation to check the accounts, and I haven't eaten yet. My stomach is really uncomfortable. The point is, why did you come to my office to eat? Huamin was speechless. I only know you. Do you think I'd go to the consultation hall to eat? Hua Xiqian said matter-of-factly. Huamin, okay, then you eat quietly. I'm going to work for a bit. Huamin turned around and picked up the white coat hanging on the hanger. He tied up his messy hair. Then he picked up the black-rimmed glasses on the table and put them on. Immediately, his aura was completely different from before. Hua Xiqian was just about to eat the porridge. He held a small spoon in his hand, but before he could eat, he burst out laughing. What are you laughing at? Hua Xiqian's strange laughter made Huamin feel like he was crazy. Hua Xiqian raised his head and looked at Huamin's delicate face. He slowly said, I'm laughing at you. You're clearly a clean, white, and tender girl. Why do you have to dress like a middle-aged woman? Do you have to be mature and experienced to convince patients? What else? If you had prostate problems one day, and you went to the clinic to see a 17 or 18-year-old boy, how would you feel? Hua Xiqian, little sister Mian, you can't curse me like that. We just had our wedding night last night. Hua Xiqian wasn't angry. Instead, he laughed. He always seemed to have endless patience for Huamin. That was a good temper that he didn't treat anyone with. I'm just making an analogy. You don't have to take it personally. After Huamin finished speaking, he lowered his head and took out the documents he would need for the meeting later. Little sister Mian, I bought 2 servings. Do you want some? I'm not eating. The crab porridge is delicious. Hua Xiqian, you're so annoying. Huamin suddenly raised his head and yelled. The next second, he asked shamelessly, Is it Li Ji's crab porridge? Hua Xiqian nodded. Then, she very sensibly pushed the other bowl of crab porridge in front of Huamin. In the face of such a fragrant crab porridge, in such a chilly morning, Huamin still couldn't resist the temptation of delicious food. She began to eat without any moral principles. The truth was, Huamin wasn't as hostile towards Hua Xiqian as before. Huamin was a smart person. After all this time, she realized that Hua Xiqian didn't do anything to harm her. In fact, he did a lot of things to her advantage. For example, he set up the Hua Foundation at Southside and helped so many people. For example, he helped her deal with the old man and resolve the hatred in her heart. For example, he married Song Yishur for no reason, which made her secretly happy. Putting everything together, Huamin suddenly felt that Hua Xiqian might not have been hostile towards him in the first place. Then, why should he treat him like an enemy? Qin Chu was right. It was always good to be cautious, but there was no need to treat him like an enemy, right? With this thought, Huamin let go of her previous prejudice towards Hua Xiqian. The morning sun slowly rose. The window reflected Huamin's delicate side profile. Hua Xiqian seriously watched Huamin eat his porridge. At this moment, he was the most beautiful scenery in Hua Xiqian's eyes. Why are you looking at me like that? Huamin suddenly raised his head and looked into Hua Xiqian's gentle eyes. For a moment, he wasn't used to this. Chapter 1249. You haven't been using our masks lately, have you? Huamin was almost convinced by Huasiqian's question. Was it really okay for a man to pay attention to the beauty of a female celebrity? She really wanted to kneel down. So, you have crow's feet at the corner of your eyes? Really? Huamin couldn't believe it, so she raised her hand and touched it. It must be because you've been busy with work and haven't been resting well. Did you use what I asked my secretary to get you last time? Yeah, I used it all. Huamin nodded. I'll get someone from the company to send you some more. The Huasiqian had a famous cosmetics brand that was one of the top brands in the country, so Huasiqian knew a lot about cosmetics. Huamin, on the other hand, was a natural beauty lover. She didn't like makeup and didn't know much about skincare. Therefore, she didn't know much about it. It's okay, I'm still young. I'll be fine. You're young now, but what about 10 years from now? When you're old, do you think Qinshu will still love your face forever? Huamin, so you're saying that my husband will have a change of heart and cheat on me? Huamin's face turned cold. No, what I mean is, Miss Huamin, it's time for you to take care of your skin, okay? After speaking, Huasiqian gracefully finished the last mouthful of crab porridge and turned to leave. I'm going to go check the accounts. I'll leave this trash to you. After speaking, Huasiqian smiled and walked out of Huamin's office. Damn, this guy is a pervert. He came to the hospital to eat porridge before the sun rises. Huamin complained as she cleaned up the mess. After seeing that it was about time, she went to the meeting room on the top floor. She didn't pay attention to the conversation with Huasiqian this morning. However, when she came back from the cafeteria at noon, she was shocked by the dozen or so skincare products. What the hell is this? Huamin looked at the pile of documents on his desk. Hello, Miss Huasiqian. I'm the secretary of the president of the Hua Corporation, Mr. Huasiqian. He asked me to deliver these skincare products to you. This. How much are these? Huamin stuttered. She was truly in the wrong. If that black-hearted Huasiqian were to demand an exorbitant price of tens of thousands of yuan, how could she bear to part with it? The female secretary couldn't help laughing and replied, The president said that it's a gift for you, Miss Hua. These are the new products that the company has been developing recently. They have just been introduced to the market, and the feedback is good. Please accept them, Miss Hua. Please thank Mr. Hua for me. You're welcome, Miss Hua. Since you're the president's younger sister, this is what I should do. I won't disturb you any further, Miss Hua. Call me if you need anything. After that, the female secretary politely left a business card and turned to leave. Huamin looked at the platinum-colored boxes of skincare products. There were facial masks, eye masks, and foot masks written on them. The most outrageous one was the butt mask. Ahem, does anyone buy this? It's so perverted. This was the first time in Huamin's life that people put masks on their buttocks. Do they think they were phones? Full-body masks? Would the Hua Corporation's cosmetics come out with tempered masks in the future? Explosion-resistant masks? Something like that. It was unimaginable. Huamin casually picked one up and flipped through it. He was almost shocked by the price tag. It was just eye masks. There were 6 pairs of them inside. The price was actually 3,998 yuan. How ridiculous! 6 pairs of eye masks cost 4,000 yuan. Didn't that mean that a pair of eye masks cost almost 700 yuan? And it was the kind that would be thrown away after use. This price was really exciting, 4,000 yuan per box. Huasiqian sent a total of 15 boxes. At first glance, it was estimated to be more than 60,000 yuan. When Huasiqian burned money, he was no worse than Su Yu. He was a god-level tycoon. Huamin didn't need that much himself, so he gave some to his assistant, Chun Jie. The young girl was very flattered. When he got off work, Qin Shu came to pick him up on time. Huamin put the things in the trunk before getting into the car. Honey, did your hospital give out a fortune? What the hell is that? Soybean oil or flour? Mr. Qin was a genius. Chapter 1250. Soybean oil? Flour? Do you think I'm an elementary school teacher? Huamin couldn't stop laughing. What are you laughing at? Honey, can you not be so funny? Southside is a high-end rehabilitation center, but after hearing what you said, I feel like it's downgraded. Then what are they? They're skincare products, not from the hospital. They're from Huasiqian. Huasiqian gave them to you? Qin Shu was slightly surprised. Yeah, I don't know what was wrong with him this morning, but he came to the Hua Foundation really early to check the accounts. When he saw me, he told me that I have crow's feet and insisted on giving me masks and face masks. Didn't he send them over at noon? I think he might also want me to advertise the Hua Corporation's new product. Yeah, that's possible. Qin Shu didn't say anything else. He didn't show any signs of jealousy. Huasiqian was a very complicated person, and Qin Shu didn't have any evidence to back up his assumptions. He also didn't want to burden Huamin. Unlike Su Yu, Huasiqian was very introverted and liked to keep everything to himself. He also used his actions to prove how good he was to Huamin, not with words. That was why Huamin felt very secure when he was with Qin Shu. It was as if he had a feeling that no one in this world loved him more than Qin Shu did. He felt an inexplicable sense of trust and security. Honey, what are we eating tonight? Didn't you want to eat roasted lamb leg a while ago? Let's go. I made reservations. Wow, that's awesome. Huamin was as happy as a child. He held on to Qin Shu's face and kissed it. His saliva got all over Qin Shu's face. However, Qin Shu, who was a clean freak, refused to wipe it off because it was the mark of his beloved wife. If Gao Ran saw this, he would probably say that Qin Shu was a crazy wife protector. Huamin had wanted to eat roast lamb leg for a long time. Huamin didn't like mutton very much because it had a rank odor. However, the roasted leg of lamb was different. After being marinated with secret ingredients, the leg of lamb did not have a rank odor and was roasted in a stove. It was simply perfect in terms of appearance, smell, and taste. Last time, she and Zhang Xiaowei were about to start eating, but Su Yu and the others came. In order to avoid arousing suspicion, Huamin slipped away before eating, so she really didn't get to eat a single bite. She had been so busy recently that she had forgotten about it. However, Qin Shu remembered every word she said, even if it was said carelessly. He would remember it in his heart. Every time this happened, Huamin would feel warmth in his heart. The sufferings that she had suffered with Qin Shu in the past were nothing. However, she didn't know that God's test for them wouldn't end like this. In the end, Huamin wanted to kill herself several times to end the pain. It was all because she couldn't stand the painful separation from Qin Shu, of course. This was all in the future. Right now, Huamin still didn't realize that disaster was coming. When Qin Shu drove, she leaned on his shoulder like a little bird. She smelled his unique scent of hormones. She gently placed her right hand on top of Qin Shu's right hand and interlocked their fingers. Honey, if you're like this, it's hard for me to concentrate on driving, Mr. Qin complained. Haha, then pretend that I don't exist. How can I do that? You're just blatantly seducing me. Okay? Then why don't we have sex at that red light up ahead? Huamin joked for the first time. Qin Shu's face darkened. Honey, you know that red light only lasts for 35 seconds. What can we do in such a short time? Don't you know what we can do in such a short time? Huamin asked in all seriousness. Are you mocking me? Mr. Qin finally realized that he had been played. Ha ha, Huamin laughed hysterically. Very well, I'll remember this and deal with you tonight. Qin Shu didn't know what to do with her, so he pinched her white fingers lovingly. When they arrived at the roasted lamb leg restaurant, Qin Shu was just about to reverse into the parking lot when Huamin suddenly saw something and said, Honey, stop the car. Then, she immediately opened the car door and got out. Chapter 12:51. Qin Shu looked in the direction that Huamin was heading and saw a woman in a red evening gown standing at the entrance of the hotel. It was Hui Yanyan. Hui Yanyan's hair was up in a bun, and she wore a very ordinary evening gown that didn't look very expensive. Her makeup wasn't very good either. Compared to Zhang Xiaowei and Song Yishi's wedding, it was a world of difference. Right now, she was wearing a wedding corsage on her gown. She was escorting the guests out. When she saw Huamin, she was also a bit shocked. She didn't expect to see him at an event like this. Huamin hadn't seen Hui Yinyin in a long time. Apparently, after Shun Jiani lost for nothing, she was living a miserable life. He helped her out twice before, but later he heard that she was very afraid of Hua Xiqian. So, she found a boyfriend and moved out. Apparently, he was a construction contractor. However, Huamin didn't expect her to get married so soon. Hua Xiqian's wedding was yesterday, and hers was today. Hua Xiqian's wedding was at a famous 5-star hotel. Hui Yinyan's wedding was at a small restaurant next to the roasted lamb leg. It didn't look very big. She couldn't help but feel a bit sad. She used to be quite famous in the socialite circle. Now, she was in such a predicament, she had to admit that every dog has its day. Are getting married today? Huamin was the first to speak. He looked at Hui Yinyan in a bridal gown in disbelief. Yes. Hui Yinyan nodded. She was getting married, but no one from her family was present. It was a very lonely day. After Hua Xiqian knocked Hua Zhenghai down, he retreated to a 3-bedroom apartment in the Hua Manor to recuperate. He refused to see anyone, and it seemed like he had suffered quite a blow. Hua Xiqian hired a nurse to take care of him, so no one could see him. Shun Jiani had already absconded with her son and the adulterer with the last bucket of gold. However, life abroad wasn't that great either. Sometimes, Hua Si would call Hui Yinyan to ask for money. Hui Yinyan didn't have much money herself. It wasn't easy for her to find a contractor boyfriend who treated her quite well. He often bought her clothes and gave her some money, but she couldn't bear to spend it on herself and send it overseas. He had to admit that his days were tough. Therefore, she did not tell anyone about her marriage. Her former fair-weather friends had also disappeared. Huamin was the only one who didn't hit her when she was down. She still felt that he was out of her league. Why didn't you say anything? Huamin looked at Hua Yinyan sadly. She was no longer as arrogant as she used to be. Instead, she looked calm and peaceful. I'm embarrassed. You know that I don't have any family here. My mom and brother went abroad, and our dad is like that. Hua Xiqian and Jiang Hong want me to disappear immediately. I can't stay in Hua family anymore, so I stopped contacting my old friends. After I left, I met this man and got married. I was so mean to you in the past, and I'm so grateful that you helped me. How could I ask you to come to my wedding? Hua Yinyan crossed her hands and gently rubbed them together. It was obvious that she was still a little nervous in front of Huamin. That person, does he treat you well? Huamin looked at Hui Yinyan, who was wearing a cheap gown, with pity. She was exceptionally beautiful today. Huamin had known her for a long time, but he had never seen such a beautiful Hui Yinyan before. Her big eyes were watery, and she had dimples on her face. She didn't have the stink of money from before. Huamin was a little surprised that Hui Yinyan got married so quickly. Previously, she had been hell-bent on chasing after young Master Shun, trying desperately to compete with Wei Ying. At that time, Huamin thought that even if she wasn't doing well, she would at least find a rich second-generation heir. You're tuning into the Romance Rendezvous YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.